1. Get all the equipment straight here. What up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. Happy Monday to all of you folks. I think it is 90. I don't want to get this wrong. I believe it's 93 days until election. It's either 93 or 94 days remaining until it's election time. So right off the bat, knowing how close it's getting until we can vote, until we can actually have our say in this national election, the most consequential election in your lifetime, undoubtedly. Are you kind of feeling excited? Are you kind of feeling antsy that we're this close to what will amount to a Super Bowl size election? Are you getting a bit concerned? Are you getting a bit joyous? This is what we're facing. I tend to think, maybe I'm wrong here, but I tend to think this is an election that we will never forget. Out of all the elections you've had before in your lifetime and all the elections you will have until your dying day, I tend to think this is the one we're probably going to remember the most. Now, I do understand that many of us that were around when Obama won in 2008, due to the history of that, some folks may have a differing opinion. But I tend to think what happens in November will probably be one of the most memorable elections of your lifetime. Now, unfortunately, because of the claims of fraud in 2020, it too is a memorable election. I dare say any election that Trump's involved in is probably going to be very memorable, because I remember how hell of a lot of liberals were shedding tears when it was announced on the television that Trump is the presidential elect in 2016. So, but I do believe this one here, this one is the big one. To quote Fred G. Sanford of Sanford and Son, this one is the big one, Elizabeth. Some might even say, honey, I'm coming home if Trump wins. But we're going to talk about we're going to go into the topics of the show. But I just want to ask, with this huge election coming up, are you getting a bit excited? Maybe nervous, maybe antsy, perhaps some being joyous. You think you got the right candidate. What is the feeling from the folks? We're going to talk about that today. That wasn't the topic, but I would be interested to see how you guys feel. I see somebody, keep it simple, says feeling depressed. Wow. You're feeling depressed. Holy shit. You got 90 plus days left to deal with that depression. And if you're feeling depressed now, it's not likely to end on November 5th, because you probably don't like either one of the candidates. There's a lot of folks who do not like neither Trump nor Kamala. Certainly when Biden was in the game, a hell of a lot of folks believed that they were both too old, their favorable numbers were too low, and some folks wanted them both to be out. Anyhow, getting into the actual topic of the show, there's no shortage of folks on the right, but even some on the left, pointing out the fact that Kamala Harris hasn't taken any interviews. No interviews whatsoever. She's doing rallies, but in terms of interviews where talking heads, journalists, reporters get to ask her the tough questions, currently she has 0. Now, she's only been in the game for 15 days. 2 weeks as of yesterday. She announced that's when Biden stepped down on Sunday and Kamala became the presumptive nominee. So she's only been in the game for 15 days. But right now we have zero interviews from Kamala where you might have journalists ask her, what differs you from the Biden economy, or things about the border, or any of her, what are her international policies? We got full-blown war between the Ukraine and Russia right now. We got full-blown war between Israel and Hamas, with the Palestinian people being in the interim, being in the mix. Certainly Hezbollah has joined in on that, and Iran is threatening to follow suit. What are your policies on dealing with all of this? She has not taken any interview. So question number 1, what does Kamala Harris stand for? I want to get your opinion. We're all speculating because she hasn't said a damn thing yet, but I want to get your opinion. What do you believe Kamala Harris stands for? Because that could be your next president. Also, a side topic. We got two topics as always, but a side one. The word weird. You undoubtedly have heard the word weird a lot lately. Google suggests that the term weird searches for the word weird up 20% when Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota first used it. The day after, up 25%. In conjunction with right-wing terms like MAGA, Trump, J.D. Vance, the word weird is no doubt, there's no denying that it's sticking in regards to an insult towards the Republican Party. What do you guys think? Do you think it's wrong to refer to a former president of the United States as weird, or a sitting senator, we're talking about J.D. Vance, calling them weird? Do you think it's wrong or inappropriate to use that term in relations to President Trump and J.D. Vance? Second topic, Trump is in the news again, as always, and that's no surprise. Trump thanked Vladimir Putin. Now, Trump suggested that this historic hostage negotiation we had with Russia, biggest swap since the Soviet era, the Cold War days, where we released several individuals we had in custody, and Russia released several individuals they had in custody. Trump had a rally this weekend stating that it was a poor trade. We released some, mild criminals at best for murderers, folks wanting to commit mayhem. So Trump is suggesting it was a bad trade for the Biden administration to do it. And he actually, as opposed to giving Biden any credit for bringing the hostages home, he thanked Vladimir Putin for letting them go. So second topic is going to be, do you think it is, for lack of a better word, is it kosher for a former president to be thanking our adversaries for letting folks go, as opposed to thanking the president of the United States for bringing them home? What say you? So those are our two topics. You know how the program is ran. It is and always will be MAGA friendly. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone. You don't have to agree with anybody in the comment section. You damn sure don't have to agree with the host. Liberals are welcome on the program, but MAGA always remains our preferred guest. We go left of Bernie Sanders to having dinner with QAnon. So let's get the show on the road. By the way, tap the screen, 500 already here. Certainly you can get the likes up to about 15,000. Helps out the algorithm, brings in more MAGA. Looking in the comment section, traits of a traitor. I'm assuming that's in reference to Trump thanking Vladimir Putin. Says, I think that says Jordy's traits of a traitor. Kind of reminds me of the old Smokey Robinson, tears of a clown. I want reparations for how bad this president has been. That's funny. Ward the Shark says, I want reparations. Biden has been so bad. Some of the American people want reparations. Den Cow, good afternoon. Welcome to the pro. Reparations for Biden. That's funny. All right, let me bring up Den Cow. Good afternoon. Oops. Welcome to the pro. Den Cow, what does Kamala stand for in your opinion?
Say it again?
Kamala Harris, what do you think she stands for?
Well, the problem is we're asking her to present all of her policy positions while she's still the vice president and working underneath the current president. You cannot come.
She's going to be, wait. She's going to be the vice president until January of next year. Does she get to remain silent under the guise that she's the vice president, even though she's running for president? You're telling us she shouldn't have to tell us?
Some time for her to put. It's going to take some time for her to put together her full package of policy issues. She can't. You think you could put together all of these questions that are going to be asked? You could come together and you could put that all together in 2 weeks?
Well, maybe not in 2 weeks, but you could take interviews. I mean, she hasn't taken a single interview yet.
Well, at the moment she walks into an interview, what's going to happen?
She's going to get questioned.
She's going to get questioned. So if she's not going to be thoughtful, take her time, pick her vice president, come up with a platform that they can agree on, then present it to the American people, then she would just be rushing to judgment. She would be running out there. People would be asking her 1,000 questions. She would have mixed answers because she hasn't fully formulated her own policy as opposed to what she's supporting under Biden. She gets a chance to do that, I would assume.
So how long do you give her before you start saying maybe now it's too long since you had an interview?
Well, today she's supposed to be picking her VP, or by tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
I would expect them to get together and talk about the historical, ideas about their platform, and talk to different leaders and talk to different people about different aspects. I would think maybe I don't know, 2 weeks maybe.
Now, how do you
respond? My assumption.
Now, I hear your point, but how do you respond to folks like Angel Marquez on YouTube says less than 90 days until the election? She's been there for 4 years. She should already understand. How do you respond to folks who say she's been vice president for years? She should be able to give some answers now as opposed to having to wait or put together a policy.
The vice president's job is to fully stand behind the president's agenda. It's not to have her own sitting in the cut waiting for her opportunity. She's the vice president right now. She's not supposed to have her own agenda while she's working for the president.
Well, imagine if Pence had stood behind Trump. I mean, you might still have President Trump. I mean, at some point,
that's true. That's true. But he believed that the guy in front of him was asking him to break the law. He went to scholars, he talked to them, he developed his own understanding of what was going on. He didn't just say, hell, I don't like this idea, and he threw it out. He actually talked to scholars. He found out what other people in that position would do or what they thought about what he was doing. Everything can't be just throw it out like Trump does. Every time he just just ask him a question, he just throws something out there, and then next week he'll be taking it back. Now he's out there talking about he loves EVs because Elon Musk supports him because he's going to give him.
Did he say that?
Yes, he said he's got to go with. He said he's got to love EVs now because Elon Musk is giving him money. That's literally a quick pro quo in our face that he's going to enforce. He's going to go into office if he makes it and change the whole strategy on EVs because somebody donated him money.
Yeah, if I didn't knew that, I would have probably had that as part of the show. So, because Trump has obviously been against alternative energy vehicles for his entire term. So suddenly now, wow.
He said it. He said it at the rally. I think it was yesterday. So everybody in the comments, I didn't hear that. He didn't do it. We do this every single time. Every time he says something, they say he didn't say it. And then once you prove he said it, they say, well, he meant something else and we misunderstood. We do the same song and dance. That's why I expect Kamala Harris to go sit down with experts in different fields and to come up with a plan for how she plans to handle the border, how she plans on handling foreign affairs, how she plans on handling Israel, and what possibly could be another war, expanding of the war, what she plans on do on Ukraine. But you can't just say, well, she was vice president, so she should just say the same thing.
But wait a minute, aren't we not doing that for J.D. Vance? Are people not speculating? He hasn't announced his full agenda either, and the liberals are clearly speculating on what he stands for.
Exactly. That's why they're calling him weird, because the stuff he's saying makes no damn sense.
So do you think it's wrong, though, to call somebody of his nature, a sitting senator, weird?
Well, when you're coming out calling women that don't have children cat ladies, and you're saying all of this weird stuff about how the government should be ran on a Christian nationalist platform, like all of our laws and stuff should be made out of the Bible, that's weird.
Yeah, but you do realize you get people on the left suggesting that a man can have babies and shit. Like, is that not weird?
It's not. What you mean suggesting? Who's suggesting that men can have babies?
What about not even having a clear definition of what a woman is?
Well, if you ask them what is a woman, they don't have a clear definition either. They'll say something like, well, she has a vagina. That's not a clear definition.
What about just the chromosome?
That's not you. Do you have people with different chromosomes? You had the lady that was in the Olympics. They're blaming. They're saying that was.
They saying that's a man. They said that is a man.
It's a biological woman who just had something, about her testosterone, something within her. But that's born a girl from the whole time she's been a girl, and now she's fighting. I asked somebody the same question. I said, we've got basketball players now that are coming out that are 7'6", 7'8" tall, and now they're able to dominate the game of basketball. Do we say it's unfair for them because their chromosomes or their DNA somehow gave them an advantage?
You really, normally I would say but that is a really interesting pushback because they don't do that in basketball. You put a 7'4" guy out there. You're right. No, they don't say it's unfair. That's an interesting pushback. I've never heard somebody use that.
Right, it's a girl right now that's playing D1 football and not a kicker. Is anybody saying, hey, she shouldn't be out there? No, that's wrong. They're not saying that. We let them fight in wars now. They fought for the right.
But wait a minute. Do you really think it makes sense to put? I mean, it's off topic, but do you really think it is logical to put a female in the boxing ring with a dude?
No, I think that there should, if they're going to do anything, that they should have their own category.
Right, and that's the transgender.
Right. Okay. That's the only thing. That's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Now, I don't want to get too far into that because this show is not about that. But last but not least, Trump thanking Vladimir Putin for freeing the hostages as opposed to giving Biden any credit at all. What say you?
I mean, it kind of speaks for itself. I mean, the story used to be, once you get to the water's edge, you take politics out of it. You should not be talking to foreign governments, criticizing your own government, or, praising other governments over your own government. That was the standard forever. Trump changed that when he stood up there and said, I believe, I listened to my national security people, and I believe Trump over them. And now he's going over there saying to the guy who's our enemy, yeah, you did a great job in doing what you did, but our president, who was involved in the exact same negotiations and got our people here, he made a bad deal. Yeah. I mean, there's never going to be a good deal when you're dealing with Russia, because they take people and they dehumanize them and they make them out to. Just put yourself in a regular Russian citizen's position. Do you think those people that were let go? Do you think they were just regular journalists or people just getting snatched up by the Russians? No, they think those people were spies who had something to do with Russian deaths. They made those people out to be villains, the same way the people that we picked up. Yeah. But they making it seem like you're gonna be able to swap, an arms dealer for an arms dealer or a spy for a spy. That's not how those negotiations work out. Yes, if you want to get them back, we're going to have to give up something.
So at the end of the day, do you believe that Biden did a good job, or are you on the side with Trump where it was a dumb trade?
Look, he got the people home. The people in America all over have been complaining about him getting these people home. He got the job done. I don't know what else to tell them. Nobody said get them home, but make sure it's a fair trade. Everybody said, get those people home. That's what they said. Nobody said nothing about if it was going to be a fair trade or whatever. And obviously, it took a while to put together the deal. He made some concessions on both our side, their side. We even got some of our allies involved who ain't have nothing to do with it, give up people that they had taken. So, yes, I think he did a great job in being able to finagle the system to get these people home that the American people demanded that they get home.
All right, fair enough. I don't totally disagree with all of that. Might have a few pushbacks here or there, but then I do got to move it on. As always, it's a pleasure. Thanks for coming on.
All right.
Moving the program on. We're talking about also the idea of calling a former president weird, a sitting senator, as in J.D. Vance, weird. Is that inappropriate to be throwing around names like that? I already know where the conversation is going to go, but I do want to hear from you folks. Also, now you heard what my last caller said. Kamala needs time to put together what policies and things like that she stands for. But do any of you folks feel like you already kind of know what Kamala Harris, if elected, what she's going to stand for in terms of policies, how she might stand, with the Israeli Palestinian Hamas conflict, or where she stands on abortion, or where she stands on gun control? Do you feel like you might already know? Do you need her to put together a package? I want to ask you folks that. Look in the comments. Old, weird, and creepy, says Cosmo. Adding words to it. Wow. Kamala stands for democracy, Miss Thebus, and Mr. Again. All right. You should be worried about the fact that you have a military-industrial complex executive in the Joint Chiefs of Staff. When did that start, Mr. McKinnon? Because I was under the impression if we elected Trump, he was going to drain the swamp. And now I'm hearing Trump speak and suggest that no one in the swamp was drained and we need to put him back in there so he can do it again. Or he can actually do it this time because he allegedly failed at it the first time. That's what I'm hearing. Anyhow, moving on with the program, Kamala stands for democracy, not dictatorship. Since I can't pronounce the name. Okay, all right, fair enough. Going back to the box, Trump brought how many hostages home? None, sir. None. Didn't Biden say something like that? Well, why didn't he do it when he was president? Kind of a mic drop moment for President Biden. Moving on with the program, I appreciate you folks that are tapping the screen. Get the likes up to about 25,000. 600 plus of you in here. One of my subscribers will continue the program on with Uncle Lucas. Good afternoon, Uncle Lucas. Welcome to the program. On YouTube as well. Feel free to smash that like button. Uncle Lucas, good afternoon.
Hey, what's up, handsome? How you doing?
Not much. Doing good to have you back on, man. So, Kamala Harris, any idea what she stands for?
You know what? I'll be honest. I don't know. I don't know.
Damn.
And I'll be honest. I'm in the boat with a lot of other. I wouldn't consider myself liberal, but it's anybody but Trump. They could have Uncle Bernie.
Weekend at Bernie's. So you'd have voted for a dead man over Trump.
I'd have voted for a dead man over Trump.
So how do you respond to folks who might suggest that under Trump we had a good economy, we didn't have major wars, and voting for a dead guy over somebody who was economically effective makes you look crazy? Because a lot of folks are going to say that's crazy.
We've had a good economy under Biden. I mean, I just paid $2.78 for gas up here in Alabama. I mean, and the Dow Jones, it took a hit today, but it was over 40,000 for the last few months. I've made tons of money in my 401k and in all my investments. So I made money under Biden. I made money under Trump. So, honestly, I think people put too much stock in the president and the economy and how they and the executive policies that they might instate. But under Biden, I've done very well financially. So, and just because I know there's a lot of people that are struggling out there, but I'm not. I'm doing very well. So
you feel that another 4 years of the liberals will be okay for your bottom line?
Hey, my pocket will be fat anyway. Either if it's Trump or Harris, it really doesn't matter.
Well, then if you made money under Trump and Biden, we didn't have a lot of major wars going on under Trump compared to what we have in now. What's making you say?
We were still in Afghanistan, right? And we had engagements in Syria, and I think there are always going to be wars going on. I know he pulled out. He initiated the pullout for Afghanistan,
right?
And Biden kind of fumbled the pullout for Afghanistan. So
yeah, we lost 13 service members under that Biden pullout.
Horrible. But we lost service members under Trump. I remember shortly after he got elected, there was a covert operation where we lost some special forces operators in the helicopter crash in a covert action. Yeah. So, I mean, unfortunately, people die in the military. I served, so I've been to a few Ram ceremonies, so I know, people die downrange, and it's a hard thing. So, and it's a hard thing for any commander in chief to make that call. The thing I don't want to see is the commander in chief frivolously throwing away lives. So,
has Trump done that?
not to say that.
Do you believe Trump is frivolously throwing away any lives?
I don't think he would. He's against war. I will give him that. He is adamantly against going into any kind of new engagement. But also, on the other hand, I don't understand this deference he has to Russia. Like this kind of like Vladimir Putin is his buddy, his pal. I don't. That kind of creeps me out. That weirds me out. It's
so you're seeing
you're
seeing, at least with his relationship with Russia, you're seeing some of the weird part.
Yeah, some of the way, and with autocracies, with North Korea, and with China, it's just, he's overly congratulatory, or he's overly like in deference to these autocracies, and it's crazy because into our allies like Germany or any other democracy around the world, he's constantly beating them up. So I don't understand that, and I don't really get where he's coming from that point. It's weird.
How do you respond to folks who? What about the notion of keep your enemies close? I'm seeing that in the comments, as opposed to what we've always been doing, which is to ostracize these dictators. Maybe keep them close so you can keep a better eye on them.
The MAGA crowd needs to stop it, because honestly, at this point, Reagan would be kicked out of the Republican Party, because when he called Russia the evil empire, Trump would say, well, hold up now, they're not that evil. They're pretty good. So Reagan and Jesus would be kicked out of the Republican Party.
Jesus? What is
Yeah, look at Jesus. Jesus was a hippie giving away everything he owns.
Damn.
He would be kicked out of the Republican Party because, he believed in helping out the poor and the needy and going down there with the prostitutes. He would be kicked out of the Republican Party. He probably would be a Mexican, or he would be a Guatemalan immigrant trying to get over the border. And
wow. That's crazy. That is.
Do something crazy to us. So, I honestly, I don't know where the Republican Party is these days, and they've gone so far right, man. I think it's hilarious seeing how when they picked J.D. Vance, they got mad that they found out his wife was Indian. And all these ultra conservative MAGA were like, "Is this the poster? Is this the great white replacement that they're trying to do?" So
his wife?
I don't know. Yeah, his wife is Indian. You know, JD Vance.
Yeah, I know that, but I haven't heard them going after her.
Oh yeah. Nick Fuentes, a bunch of the ultra MAGA, like ultra right wing. They just don't like it that his wife is Indian and his children are biracial, man. It's ugly, man, on the right. And I think a lot of the old school conservatives, Republicans, that's why they've been kicked out, man. So that's why Trump scares me, is because if he gets a second term, he's gonna surround himself with sycophants. He's gonna surround himself with the people who will never tell him no. You won't have the Jim Mattis, you won't have the Mad Dog Mattis, the John Kellys. You won't have, the adults in the room.
Okay, I do have to move it on, but just to clear it up, you do believe he is a threat to democracy then?
Man, I believe he's a threat to the whole world, just because he's just unhinged. Did you see him at the rally when he went after, who was it, Brian Kemp?
Yeah, the governor of Georgia. Yeah, I saw that.
In Georgia, Brian Kemp is a popular governor in Georgia.
Yeah. Didn't he go after his wife too?
Yeah, with black votes. He won in Georgia without Trump support because he appeals to a lot of black voters in Georgia, in Atlanta, because he's done a lot of good things in Georgia. So instead of just letting bygones be bygones and saying, he's got this mad revenge. I've got to right the wrongs. And it's the same thing with the hostages being released. Instead of giving Biden his flowers and saying, hey, that's a good thing that they're home, being an adult, he's got to come up with all kinds of other craziness. The man's unhinged. He does not need to be in the most powerful office in the land. So, yeah, so if the Democrats put up a Muppet, I'd be voting for it. I hate to say it.
Oh my God! All right, Lucas, that is wild. I appreciate you coming on, man. A Muppet.
All right, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Damn. All right, moving the program on. And I see in the comments, Vicky A said he is not unhinged. Shout out to my female MAGA. I always give a shout out to the female Republicans for obvious reasons. Everyone believes the women are going to go liberal, but there's a lot of female Republicans, female MAGA out there. He probably is master. I don't know what you're saying there, Ali. I can't read that. He said that not only is Trump unhinged, he is a threat to the world. President Trump, a threat to the world. You think it's that bad? Wow. Tap the screen, get the likes up to about 35,000. Still over 600 of you in here. Smash that like button on YouTube. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone for their commentary. Understand you don't have to agree with the host or anybody on the program, including those in the comment section. It's all about free speech here. Want to know why she hasn't listed her policy? She's going to do what the Biden advisors tell her to do. So that's, in other words, Cynthia, appreciate the input. Cynthia is saying that Kamala doesn't need to really list her policy. She's going to do everything that the Biden advisors told her. No difference at all, Hunter. Same person as Joe Biden was. All right, we'll continue on with the program. Sunflower, good afternoon. Welcome to the show. We're asking that question. What do you believe Kamala has any policies at all that you feel confident you know what she's going to do?
Well, when I think about how she's been working with Biden, I mean, they're collective on their policies. So to think that she's going to be this radical change on what Biden has been doing is crazy. And I think time even in office and maybe seeing how things work, she might, change a few things, but it's not like they've disagreed on stuff. You've had vice presidents in the past who didn't agree with what the president was doing and they're out. But they work together. They both.
So you don't see her as taking America in a far left radical direction like some were suggesting?
No, I think once she got as vice president and she realized like the idea of being so far left is not beneficial to the United States as a whole. I think some of her thought processes did change, and they can change. Like, hey, you know what? I can see why we can't do this. Now, I say this because I'm actually president of my association, and before I became president of my association, I had all these great ideas. And then when I got in and realized what I could and couldn't do and what would and wouldn't work, my ideas changed, right? So I can see it from that viewpoint that, once you're in and you're actually signing the work and you're doing the work and you're realizing, wow, okay, that'll never work, or that won't make, America better. So let's look at it from a different avenue, So that's how I look at it.
You feel confident she got what it takes? She has what it takes to lead this nation?
I do. I mean, what does she not have, I mean, from just her history of her work history, she had more than what Trump did. Trump had, he was a business.
You're going in and out. Are you there? Okay, maybe she dropped that. Well, okay, you're going in and out. Can you hear me?
No. Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I'm shutting off Bluetooth. Sorry, I think my Bluetooth died. Yeah. So when you look at what qualifications did Trump have for running other than he ran businesses and was on a TV show? I mean, what are our qualifications at this point, right? Here she's district attorney, she's senator, vice president. How is she not qualified?
But how do you think Trump did? We had him in office for 4 years. Was he really that bad?
So when you look at the years prior to COVID, and what bothers me about Trump, I didn't vote for him. I wasn't a fan of him, even before he was a thought of being president. I just never liked him and his ways. But when he won, any American, I don't care what side you're on, whoever wins, you have to root for the person in charge because they affect your lives, right? Or they stand the potential to affect your life. So even if it's not the person you voted in, you have to stand behind them and be like, I hope you win. I hope you win for us and whatever. Trump had an opportunity to kind of take what Obama administration had done and just said, hey, I'm going to take these things and just make them better for you. I think he went very divisive. I mean, he wouldn't even hang up Obama's picture in the White House. When he was so divisive from the get-go, that was already starting the ripple effect of how he was running the country, and it was running it for one side. So one side did not want to listen to what he was saying or what he was doing, where he had a very good potential to pull people together. And with COVID, I mean,
hold on. Before you get to that part, because you said he was divisive. How do you respond to folks who might suggest he was divisive because he was constantly under attack by his opposition, whereas many folks will suggest he was never given a chance from day one? How do you respond to that?
Well, neither was Obama. I mean, from the moment he got into office, he was attacked. Congressmen saying how they would make sure he wouldn't get one bill passed. Didn't care what the bill would be. I mean, we can go down in history of showing that they've always done that, but he spoke to the American people like that. That's different. You want to say, hey, I'm dealing with these politicians, but for you, America, I'm going to be doing this and this and this. That's fine. But he put us all in the same bucket. He put all the Democratic or leftists or even, some of the independents. It's like, the separation was there for the people, not just the people sitting in the power. But we lost the idea that you have to work both sides as a party.
So other than dividing the nation, do you believe Trump overall did a good job?
I'm not really even sure what he did that wasn't already done. Like he changed some things for veterans. But that was off of a program that Obama had. He expanded it, which was good. But then again, didn't want to give Obama credit for starting it. But I don't agree with the deals he signed with OPEC to stop the drilling. I don't, agree with him wanting to do the, I can't think of it right now. The drilling in the U.S. that was closed down by Biden.
The pipeline?
Yes, thank you. Had a little brain fog at the moment. So no, there was a lot of policies in there. And on top of that, I guess integrity matters to me too.
You're suggesting that Trump lacks integrity? What's making you say that?
Yeah. I mean, his own mouth. I mean, when he talks about how he could walk into dressing rooms of the pageants because he owns the place, and the girls were standing there naked, and it doesn't matter because he owns the place. When he says stuff like that, it's out of his own mouth. That was on the Howard Stern show.
You don't believe he actually assaulted anybody, though, do you?
He was found liable of it. How could I not?
No, that is true.
If we were in a society of innocent and proven guilty, and he was found liable for it, why should I not believe that?
I can't argue with that. Keep it simple. Thank you for that subscription. Last but not least, this whole weird term, is that inappropriate to be throwing at them?
The weird what?
Calling them weird.
Well, for his VP?
I mean, they're calling both Trump and his VP weird. Is that inappropriate? I mean, he is a former president.
I mean, based off of things that he says, I think that's a nice term. I mean, they can go down his route and get kind of dirty with it.
Yeah, I can't argue with that.
When you say, did you hear Vance's apology? Well, not apology. He was making I guess his wife's been being attacked by white supremacists and stuff like that. And instead of calling them out and saying they're wrong, he's just like, oh, but I love her. She's a good person.
I haven't heard this. You're the second one.
He did an interview. Yes, he did an interview, and he was just like, "Oh my gosh, I love her, and she. I know she's not white, but she's a good mom." Instead of renouncing how she's being treated,
he says, "I know she's not white, but she's a good mom." Did he really say that?
Yes. You can listen to it's him on camera, microphone, and everything, addressing it. It is the craziest thing I've ever heard. But I did want to make a comment before I get off.
Go ahead. Damn, that's terrible. Go ahead.
Thank you to the Putin. You know, this comes from the same party, and I don't know if you remember Dixie Chicks when they spoke out against the
Yeah,
president.
they're not called the Chicks because they didn't like them. They got canceled.
They talked against our president, and they burnt their CDs in a bonfire. They like.
I remember.
The whole career went down, and I love the Dixie Chicks. But you know what? This is the same party that was okay with that, but now it's like, well, he's being diplomatic. Like, so a pop star who says they don't like the president that we currently had is like the devil. And now Trump not only says he doesn't like the president we have to a foreign adversary, he thanks him and he credits him and he talks about how strong and powerful and a good guy he is. Like, are you kidding me? Like, what is wrong with these people that they don't see that?
Well, and they don't. I don't understand why he is thanking Vladimir Putin. I do believe it's kind of inappropriate, but you're right. The right is not holding him accountable. I want to give you this question. This is coming from Gabe R on YouTube. We're simultaneously on both sides. He says, can she name one advisement that Kamala did as senator or attorney general that gives her the qualifications to be president? Is there anything, because he's saying basically there's nothing in Kamala Harris's past that would qualify her to be president?
You know, I think that her ideas to do better when she was creating policies, like for the people who were like arrested, to reform, stuff like that. She had progressive ideas of just not leaving people stuck in their past, right? But before even going into that, I could ask him the same question. What qualifications did Trump have? What qualifications did
business.
he have?
They're going to go with business.
But failed businesses too. I mean, look how many even products that he started that fail. You know, there's a thing going around on TikTok right now of all the different things that he's put his name on and it's failed throughout the years, you know?
Yeah.
And you run a business doesn't qualify you for president. And what is the qualification at that point? Because if you actually look up what the qualifications are, they both qualify. So
it's just their age. Fair enough. I appreciate you coming on. I got to move it on, Sunflower. Our first time talking.
Yeah, usually you have like 100 people waiting to talk to you.
Well, I'm glad you got through. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, thanks for having me. Take care.
You too. All right, moving on with the program. They cannot answer a straight question. They must always say Trump, says Walmart Warrior Fishing. That's a hell of a name. And you're correct. A lot of folks say, well, tell me something good about Kamala without bringing up Trump. There are things you could bring up. The fact that she was a senator, maybe you don't like left-leaning policies, but a lot of people that are voting for her do. She was a senator out in California. So there are things, but I'm going to tell you right off the bat, the reason it's so hard to favor any liberal without bringing up Trump is because most people are voting because they don't like Trump. So you take Trump out of the picture, put in maybe a more moderate replacement like Nikki Haley, and a lot of them would be voting for Nikki Haley. So if you're not going to get a lot of liberals that are going to give you all this great stuff about Kamala without bringing up Trump's name, because Trump is the reason Kamala is doing as well as she's doing. They're voting against Trump. They're not necessarily voting for Kamala. They're voting against Trump. Look at in the comments. Yeah, and that's the stupidest. I like this one. Yeah, that's the stupidest thing you can do. Well, you're entitled to your opinion. You know, we don't block, ban, or censor it, but if you believe a president, like a lot of folks on the left do, they believe that Trump is a threat to democracy, then yeah, it would make sense, even though you disagree, it would make sense to vote for, Weekend at Bernie's or something versus, perfect. Here's the example I often give. Let's say, for instance, you had a Republican, a conservative that was out of his fucking mind, sounded like Ozzy Osbourne and walked around looking like Michael J. Fox, completely out of his mind. But every now and then you could understand a few words he was saying, like shall not be infringed, pro-life. You could understand a little bit of what he was saying. He's on the right. He's pro-life. He is for the Second Amendment, but he clearly is losing his mental faculties. And let's say he's running against the likes of Obama or some well-spoken liberal. You're going to tell me you're going to vote for that well-spoken liberal because the other guy who has all of your policies and interests at heart is not speaking very well? I'd submit to you, if you had a liberal that was talking about getting rid of the Second Amendment, many folks on the right would vote for weekend at Bernie's as well. It just depends on how much of a threat you believe the opposition is. And make no mistake about it, a lot of folks on the left believe that Trump is a hellified threat. So when you say it's stupid to you because you're not in that situation. Those folks are. Continue on with the program. Tap the screen, get the likes up to about 45,000. Smash that like button on YouTube. You know how the program is ran. We don't block, ban, or censor anyone for their commentary. Moving on with the program, we'll go to another one of my subscribers. I don't know why the box has been acting flaky so much lately, but I do appreciate you folks holding on. Moo, the tuxedo cat. Where's on TikTok? My right-leaning participants. I don't know. They run from the program or something. They're all over YouTube. Moo, good evening or good afternoon.
What's up, man?
Kamala.
What's going on?
Kamala. Now I know you're progressive. You were straight left of Biden. What do you think of Kamala?
Yeah. I'm hoping for a little more movement on the Israel front with her, because she said that Israel needs to be held responsible for how they defend themselves, not just that they defend themselves. So I'm also hoping that as a woman, she'll have more empathy towards the plight of the Palestinian people, because women generally tend to have more empathy towards their fellow human beings than men do.
Women. Now it's interesting you said it, because I get a lot of
There's
folks.
scientific studies to back that up. Yes, there is.
No, what I'm saying though is
Harvard that shows that women are more empathetic.
It's interesting you say that, because I get a lot of folks on the program that believe women are not capable of leadership roles like being president.
Well, you also have a lot of morons that come on your show.
So, come on now, these are respectable people, Moo.
No, they're not, dude. No, they're not. No, you have a lot of not respectable people that come up on your show a lot of the time, man.
Now, I would tell you, now you do believe that a person should be entitled to housing, food, healthcare, and all of that as a birthright, correct?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, some folks are going to believe your opinion is unreasonable.
I mean, that's fine, right? Like, if you like having homeless people everywhere, I suppose I'm unreasonable, right? If you like watching children have food insecurity, I suppose I'm unreasonable. If you don't like having clothing, if you like watching people running around in tattered clothes, sick, homeless, I mean, yeah, then I guess I'm unreasonable. Sure. Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if you gave everybody guaranteed food, housing, clothing, as you're talking about, healthcare, what would be the purpose of even going to work?
My dude, you're going to lose work anyway. I don't know why you keep asking this, right? I told you, robots are coming for your fucking job, my dude. You're all going to lose your jobs eventually. I don't know why you keep on. What's the point in work? Well, you'll have to figure that out sooner or later anyway. So I would rather feed and clothe people and ensure that people have a decent life than worry about, well, why should people go to work? Why should I get up and go to work?
So you're saying that everything's...
Work is a waste of people's time. It's a waste of your time. And it's engineered so that you have to keep on getting money and keep on getting money and spend your life working for some dumb schmuck that you don't like and waste the majority of your days doing shit that you don't want to do. That's what work is, my dude. So if you're going to miss that, good on you. But one way or another, it's going away. So I'd suggest you prepare yourself.
You believe that work on this planet is
belief. It's not a belief. There is no belief. Work is going away. Prepare yourself. Over the next 50 years, the vast majority of you will no longer have a job.
Now, I'm bringing it. The reason I took you down this path, because you originally talked about many of my guests are wild. Now, a lot of people believe that opinion is wild.
No, a lot of people believe that opinion is true. And the people who don't are in the majority of people, because only 2% of Americans know what's going on with AI. And if you knew what was going on with AI and robotics, you would say, you know what, Moo's right, man. We are all going to lose our jobs. But people don't know what's going on with robotics and AI, which is why I go over it in my live. So I suggest that people tune in and watch that. Yeah.
So, and I see in the comments, Jenna says, Moo, marry me. So you got somebody that really likes you.
Yeah.
Wow. So if work is going away, If work is going away, what the hell are we going to do from 9 to 5?
What do you want to do with your day, my friend? What do you want to do? Do you want to draw? Do you want to wake up and take a walk? Do you want to go to the beach? What do you want to do, man? You want to go have a beer?
I want that life, man. That sounds like a really good. That sounds like retirement for all.
So what you do, right? Because we're all gonna lose our jobs, right? What you do is once the corporations start making a shit ton of money, because they don't need to hire people anymore, you take those profits that they were going to get because they already have billions and billions of dollars, and you fund a universal basic income with that. And that's not my idea. That's actually Sam Altman's idea, who is the CEO of OpenAI and a massive capitalist, okay? So that idea comes from a capitalist. So before Marxism, socialism, that idea actually came from a capitalist, guys, okay?
Now you also mentioned with Kamala, the whole, you were questioning what she might do on Israel. In the comments, Gabe R says if she picks Shapiro from Pennsylvania, if she picks Governor Shapiro as vice president, you can kiss that peace good. You can the peace deal or trying to make some kind of peace with Israel. She's saying you can kiss. He's saying you can kiss that goodbye because Shapiro being Jewish.
I mean, you can probably kiss that goodbye anyway, right? Because Kamala Harris is a centrist, and Donald Trump took like $110 million from Miriam Adelson, my dude. I don't know if Kamala will really make a difference in Israel or not. I'm hoping she will, because she seems to use sterner language than Biden does, but language doesn't get shit done. So we'll have to see if she puts her money where her mouth is. But right now, she sounds a little stronger on the topic than Biden.
Now, you said something that's going to really set my right audience, my right side folks. Even myself, I'm questioning this. You said Kamala Harris is a centrist?
Yeah, she's a centrist, dude. She's a corporate Democrat. The lady got like $80 million in corporate donations in one fucking day. That's why I laugh when these MAGA go around calling her a Marxist and a socialist. My dude, she's talking about firing Leah Khan so that they can get more monopolies going. Like, what the fuck is MAGA even talking about? Yo, they don't even know who Kamala Harris is, bro. Kamala Harris is a centrist corporate Democrat. She is not a progressive. She is not a Marxist. She's about as corporate a Democrat as they come.
Yeah. I don't know, because I know you're progressive. I don't know. You think a progressive could win in this country?
Yeah, they almost did. So, dude, my dude, right? So what happened was Bernie was beating Biden in the last primary, right? And so what happened? The Democrats all got together and they made their little deal with Clyburn to circle around Biden and amp him up and rally the black community behind him so that Bernie would lose. Because generally the black community doesn't favor Bernie for some reason. I have no idea why. Makes no sense to me. But it seems that for some reason, man, you guys really favor Biden over Bernie Sanders, which makes no damn sense to me at all.
Well, at the end of the day, Biden did appoint a lot of minorities to some high-level positions. I mean, obviously he wrote with Obama. There's a reason behind that.
Bernie supports the entire squad, dude. Bernie supports and stands by the entire squad. They're all minority women.
Yeah, but I'm talking about Barack Obama. Many would say he got his job because of Biden. And now we got Kamala Harris on deck, who may get a job also. The Supreme Court.
Barack Obama got his job because he was an amazing orator and had massive appeal. It had nothing to do with Joe Biden at all.
You don't think a well-known, well-respected politician like Biden was in 2008 had anything to do with it at all?
I think if you take Biden away from that election with Obama, Obama still trounces both elections. Still trounces.
All right. There's no way to know. I tend to think that Biden was a decent choice.
Unless you're saying Biden was a DEI hire. Was Biden a DEI hire?
Shit, everything in Washington's a fucking DEI hire. That's how the country was founded.
The white boy was a DEI. You hear that, MAGA? The white boy was a DEI hire.
I mean, let's just be real. You knew for the first 200 years of American history that everybody in Washington was going to be a white man. Clearly, they're DEI. Yeah. No matter how.
You know what's really funny though?
Yeah.
You know what's really funny? Trump doesn't know what DEI means. because he was at that national journalist convention, right? And then she asked one of the reporters asked him, "Hey, why do you keep saying Kamala Harris is a DEI hire?" And he's like, "Can you give me the definition of that?" Because he doesn't know what the fuck it means.
Yeah,
right?
so
y'all Maggie, y'all go around using y'all use words y'all don't know what it means, right? Y'all say woke, y'all don't know what it means. Y'all say DEI.
Well, for MAGA,
means, right?
Yeah, well, for MAGA,
it's so funny.
Hold on, but for MAGA, as opposed to diversity, equity, and inclusion, they basically mean she didn't earn it. DEI didn't earn it. They're looking at Kamala and suggesting that she did not earn it.
Bro, nah, bro. They don't know what that means. They're just saying it because Trump said it, and he don't know what it means either. Before Trump said it, none of them knew what DEI was, and they weren't even talking about it. The only reason they parrot that is because their parrot master told them that, but he doesn't even know what it means.
Yeah, but you don't think. Wait, hold on. You don't believe.
Fucking understand it.
You don't believe Kamala being a woman or being African American or being black, whatever the hell she is. You don't believe that has anything to do at all with white. Wait, hold on. You don't believe. Hold on, hang on, move.
They don't think she's black.
Whatever they think she is, you don't believe her being a minority had anything to do with why Biden picked her at all?
No, I don't think so.
Come on now. He said it.
To win. No. So because YT men don't need minorities to win elections in this country.
All right. He did say it, though. He did say. I mean,
YT men don't. So did Trump need a minority to win an election?
Who did he pick as a minority?
That's what I'm saying.
Wait. I get your point.
In this country, if you are a YT male, you do not need to pick a minority as your vice president.
You do on the left as a Republican or somebody on the right. No, you don't need a minority at all.
You don't on the left either. You don't on the left either. Like Joe Biden was like the first white VP and Barack Obama was like the first black VP. Before that, you had like all white dudes. So
but you still
on the left either.
You need the minority vote on the left. You don't need the minority vote on the right.
Y'all are very willing to. The minorities are very willing to vote for YT men. How do I know that? Y'all have been doing it since I've been alive.
They haven't had an option your whole life. Large portion of your life, there was no option.
Still do it, right? So over the course of my 42 years, I've seen pretty much all white men except for Obama. And here you're telling me the left needs a minority to win the presidency. That never happened, my dude, before Obama. That's the first time.
I mean, they need the minority vote, not a minority candidate, but they do need
the minority vote, but you don't need to run a minority to get that vote.
Minority friendly. How about that?
Sure, but you still don't need that to get the vote because they never have before Obama. It was all white boys.
You're telling me the left does not need to run a minority-friendly candidate to get the vote?
Sure, but it don't need to be a minority because they never were before
we cleared that up. I said minority-friendly. I didn't. Yeah, you don't have to be a minority, but minority-friendly is necessary on the left.
Well, sure, yeah, because the Democrat Party is about inclusion, right? So, of course, they're going to be minority-friendly, yeah.
All right. Last but not least, and I see in the comments, Colin Radley said, is it really a bad thing that some don't know what DEI is? The fact we use that as a term just shows the government wants us divided still.
Yeah, it's bad if you don't know what it means because it makes you look like a horse's ass when you go around using words and you don't even know what the fuck they mean, right? You're running around saying, Kamala Harris is a DEI hire and she slept with everybody to get her way to the top. Meanwhile, all the positions she was in were elected positions. So what did she do? Sleep around with the whole state? See, this is why people don't take MAGA seriously, right, man? When you guys say these stupid things, right? Kamala Harris was elected to all those positions, you morons, right? So, no, she didn't sleep around. She got elected to those positions by, like, thousands and thousands of voters. So, by your narrative, she had to go around and sleep with thousands and thousands of people, right? And then, she's a DEI. Well, again, she was elected, folks. She was elected. So, I guess she was a DEI hire by, like, all of California. Yeah, all of California considered her a DEI hire. You people are dumbasses, man.
I gotta go, Moo. I gotta go. Talk about rubber band vagina. I gotta move it on, though. Appreciate it. Slept with everybody, man. Good talk, Moo. Good talk. All right, moving on with the program. Caller is ovulating. Damn. Suggesting my last caller was out. By the way, tap the screen. Get the likes on up to about 50 now. We can make actually about 55. We can make that happen on TikTok. Smash that like button on YouTube. For my YouTube audience, I know there's far more folks on the right on YouTube. Oddly enough, I'm having a bit of difficulty finding folks on the right on TikTok. It's not that I'm deliberately picking left-leaning callers. There's just far more of them on TikTok all of a sudden. Understand, folks, we don't block, ban, or censor anyone. We take callers from all sides of the aisle. What do we say? We go left of Bernie Sanders to having dinner with QAnon. We do believe in letting folks speak, but some days are like this where more folks from the left are coming through. On YouTube, that was deep. Get another call. Okay, we're going to do that in a minute. Trump's the lie that saves America. Trump is the lie that saves America. That's an interesting take. Bernie Sanders was asked the difference between equity and equality, and he couldn't tell anybody what the fuck it is, or was rather. He had no clue. The Democrats changed equality to equity, and nobody noticed. Vance Carter, I don't know. I don't know if I totally agree with that. Votes never mattered, fool, says Jay Rich. And I totally don't agree with that. Going back to the box, can't wait for MAGA to end. Elena, MAGA's not going anywhere. MAGA's not going anywhere. MAGA has a lot in common with, let's say, the likes of Black Lives Matter. I know a lot of folks are like, what the hell are you talking about? It's a group that believes they're disenfranchised by the system. MAGA believes the same thing, where, we know what Black Lives Matter believes the system is mistreating them or the system is being racist or things like that. Well, a lot of MAGA believe the same thing, replacement theory. You got Trump suggesting that, America now has an anti-white sentiment. He stated that if he gets elected, that's going to stop, that it's not, America's become biased against whites, particularly men. These are very similar mind frames to BLM. So just like I don't believe MAGA is going anywhere because before Trump was on the scene, no one was saying MAGA, but during the Obama administration, it was called the Tea Party. It's the same group. It's the same group of people with the same mindset. Just like before Black Lives Matter, you might have had Hands Up, Don't Shoot, or I Can't Breathe, or some other movement. But they still had the same mindset. MAGA's not going anywhere. I can tell you that. I don't believe MAGA's going anywhere. Look at in the comments, Milan says BLM is the biggest fraud. Well, yeah, because the things that BLM are accomplishing, you don't give a damn about. You realize how many families have had folks wrongfully treated by police or maybe even killed that would not have received justice if it wasn't for BLM going into town and protesting and up to and including rioting. Derek Chauvin is a perfect example. That wasn't going to happen with George Floyd if BLM. So the idea, they're a fraud if you only want to pay attention to the things they've done that look wrong and ignore what went right. But there's a lot of families out there that have received justice because BLM showed up. Not to mention a lot of departments have changed the way they do business because they know BLM might show up and hold them accountable. It ain't all fraud. Frank Munson in the comments, if all our jobs are going robotic, like the last caller said, where will the money come from to buy those products? Which is why I didn't agree with my last caller on that. Somebody has to build the robots. That's a damn job. Somebody has to manage the robots. That's a job. Program the robots. Repair the robots. All of that is a job. Maybe less jobs, but there's always going to be things that need to be done. Therapy, medical. The robots can't do everything. And that type of a world is a long way off. It's a long way off. Not to say we may not eventually develop in that direction, but that's a long way off in my opinion. How's your uncle doing? Think his name is Tom, says Matthew. I don't know, but I'm assuming you're referring to yours truly as an Uncle Tom. We get it every day. Continuing on with the program, we will bring up a subscriber. Keep it simple? Keep it simple. Good afternoon. Welcome to the program. Is that Keep It Simple?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, Kamala, What does she stand for in your humble opinion?
I have no idea.
Wow.
How long has she been in politics?
Well, she was a senator for 4 years, but also in California, attorney general, district attorney. Those are elected positions as well. So for quite a while.
So she still hadn't figured out what her policies are?
I'm assuming she's going to be able to tell you. She's obviously running as a liberal or a Democratic president, so we kind of know some of it already, right?
Right, but why is she so scared to come out and just talk about it? I mean, she's been in politics long enough to know what she wants to do or what she's got designed to do. I mean, I don't know if she's got a whole bunch of people that are standing there telling her to what to do, but if she's waiting for them to tell her what to do, then that doesn't sound like a good deal to me.
Well, some might suggest that right now, while she's riding high still, it's only been 15 days. She's only been on the scene for 15 days. Perhaps maybe she's waiting because there's nothing to gain right now by coming on the scene, because anything she says, her detractors are going to find the negative stuff in that, right?
Right, but I mean, she's running out of time.
Well,
how many days have we got till the election?
Well, she don't seem to be doing bad in the polls. You said she's running out of time, but what if she kept her mouth shut and continued going up in the polls? Should she speak if she's already doing good in the polls?
So that's the strategy she's got, just not give out any of her policies and just ride on the goodwill?
No, the strategy is to win. If you're winning in the polls,
the strategy is to win, but
yeah.
So
right. So if she is winning in the polls, let's say her numbers continue to go up, should she do anything different? Like have interviews where you're talking about where you're admitting they're going to tear her words apart.
I mean, if they tear her words apart, they're going to do that with anybody. That's just how politics goes.
Right, but why would you?
She got good enough policies to stand on that the Democratic people would want to vote for her, then what is she scared of?
Well, if she's winning in the polls, she already has, that's evidence the Democratic people already plan on voting for her.
So Democratic people are voting for her based off of just her?
Based off of her? I would submit to you that most of them are voting for her based off of she's not Trump.
And that's kind of sad.
Why do you say that?
Both ways.
Are you suggesting that Democrats should vote for Trump?
No, I'm not suggesting that they should vote for either side, to be honest with you right now. I'm not particularly thrilled with either candidate. If she were to come out with some decent policies and, show me what she's about, I might swing her way. But if everybody's just going for her just because she's not Trump, that's not good enough for my vote.
Well, let me ask you this. How do you feel about a woman having the right to choose? You think it should be federally protected or it should be left up to the states?
I don't know. I don't think that either party really has been fighting that much about it.
I'm asking you. I'm not asking about the party. Hold on. I'm not asking about the party. I'm asking you yourself. Do you believe a woman should have the right to choose in all 50 states, or should the states be allowed to decide?
I mean, technically the states can decide regardless because they can overcome federal laws.
So
if the federal law comes down to the state and they don't agree with it, they can always dismiss it.
Are you okay with that happening? Do you think that should happen?
Yeah, and I think that the people in those states don't like the way that their state is, and they should, file motions to get that changed.
Okay.
There's ways in different states, depending on which state you live in, that you can get laws passed without even having to have it go into litigation.
All right. You got something clicking in the background?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay. Do you believe in any sort of, because the liberals often talk about common sense gun laws, do you believe the Second Amendment shall not be infringed upon, or do you believe that there should be maybe magazine limitations or certain guns you can't get?
No, I don't think that any changes should be made to that Second Amendment. I think that The founding fathers believed that gun control was learning how to properly use it and know how to use the weapon. I don't think that any of that should be infringed on.
Let me ask you this: who do you believe won the election in 2020?
I think there was cheating on both sides.
That ain't what I asked you though. Who do you think won?
Well, I mean, if we go with, I don't know who won. I've been going down that rabbit hole for a while trying to figure that out and decide for myself, and there's not enough evidence either way to really sway me.
What happened on January 6th?
What happened on January 6th? I think a bunch of people got caught up in the moment, went up there and went crazy.
You think Trump had anything to do with it?
I think Trump fanned the flames on it a little bit, yeah.
But you don't think he really had anything to do with it?
When you get a mob mentality going like that, I don't think that there was anything short of him showing up in person to say, hey, stop. They would have stopped it anyway.
Fair enough. Now, the reason I'm asking you...
looking at their phone.
Fair enough. The reason I asked you this series of questions, because you originally stated Kamala doesn't have any solid policies, and if she has some decent policies, you would vote for her. I don't think you'd vote for any liberal based on the way you answer those questions. You see, you're a right-winger, man. Ain't nothing wrong with being one, but you're not going to vote for Kamala no matter what she says.
Yeah, but I can go on with Trump on a lot of the things that he's been saying lately, and questionable statements that he's made that would not want me to be able to vote for him either.
But you're likely to vote for maybe other conservatives. You're not going to vote for a liberal no matter who they are. So it's okay to have that opinion. You don't have to. There's no reason. If that's how you feel, there's nothing wrong with it.
Most policies, yeah, I would lean more to the right side and be more on the conservative
Yeah,
side.
you're okay with
that. But
yeah, you're okay with states banning abortion. You believe that Second Amendment shall not be infringed upon. You are a right winger. There's nothing wrong with it, but be willing to acknowledge it. You're not gonna. You just started out making it sound like some Kamala may be able to say, and you'd vote for her. I can't imagine that at all.
I mean, the way that I think this whole thing is just a big tinderbox just waiting to go.
What do you mean?
Either side. I don't think anybody's going to be happy with the election either way it goes, no matter who wins right now, and that it's going to just cause more and more tensions in the United States.
Yeah. Well, if you're suggesting that even 2020, the way you answered on what happened in 2020, then I would totally understand why you feel like that. I mean, you got the entire Republican Party just about saying that Trump lost, and you as a voter are saying, well, I'm not for sure. I mean, there's virtually no Republican senator, very few Republicans in Congress or Republican governors that are saying Trump won. Yet most Trump supporters are saying he did. But most of the people who have access to the elections, access to the polls, can do audits and counts, none of them are saying Trump won.
Well, I keep hearing about it, and I haven't done the research on it myself because I've been busy doing other
How
stuff.
much research if everybody that actually has access is saying it didn't happen, what type of access you have in regards to your research that's going to go around all of the people in control of the polls?
Nothing.
Right. But yet you feel they're all wrong and Trump might have won.
No, I mean, I think that there's at least 20% of election fraud going on both sides, and depending on the voter turnout, whether that voter fraud gets overrun or not. To be honest with you.
Okay. It's a difference between, but let me tell you something, it's a difference between voter fraud and Trump saying he won. I don't disagree. There's probably fraud in every damn election. The fact is, I couldn't vote in most of them throughout history. So, no, they're not all held properly. But Trump is not alleging fraud. He's alleging that he won by a landslide.
Yeah, that's probably not true.
Right. All right. We're getting somewhere. I do got to move it on, keep it simple. I just wanted to make sure I understand, sir. You lean right.
But
You're not going to vote for Kamala.
let me ask you a question though, because
Real
I've
quick.
never heard you really talk about it.
Sure.
But what are your thoughts on Kennedy?
I think Kennedy is talking things that the average voter has no concern about. What do they always say? Kitchen table issues. Kennedy is not talking about kitchen table issues. Certainly not enough of them to concern most voters. So I don't think he'll be much of a factor.
Well, what side do you think he falls on? Because he would fall more on the liberal side, right?
No. That with his stance on COVID and all of that. I mean, his own damn family don't want to vote. I think he's about as liberal as Tulsi Gabbard.
Okay.
Yeah. Not likely it happen.
All right.
All right. Good talk. Come on back through, man. Appreciate it. Thank you for the sub, by the way. All right.
Have a good one.
Moving the program on. The man was talking about eating a dead bear. I heard that. He said he found a dead bear and was going to eat it and put it. This is Kennedy, the presidential candidate, said he found a bear dead in New York somewhere and was planning on eating it, but then put it in his car and went out and had a nice steak dinner, and he was full, so he decided he doesn't want to eat the bear, so he went and buried it or threw it off in Central Park. I mean, it's a crazy story. But by the way, Biden has a story about cannibalism, so I understand that. Real quick, if all our jobs... Oh, I saw that in the comments. That was Frank Munson's comment. Anyway, moving on with the program. I don't know where he got that from. I don't know why he would even bring that up. Kennedy, I don't know why he would even say something about some kind of bear. Put a bicycle on the cub and make the bear ride a bike on. I'm helping to pay you, so what did you say there? Logos TV. I don't quite get what that means, but I assume you're trying to suggest I'm on welfare or something. I'm working right now. I'm actually at work right now. Brain worms and dog. Yeah, the brain worm is another one that Kennedy talked about. Yeah, Kennedy is crazy in my opinion. I don't think Kennedy has a chance in hell. A bear could ride a bike better than Biden. You notice you ain't seen Trump ride a bike at all? We've seen Biden fall off a bike. Fall upstairs, by the way. He didn't fall down the stairs. He fell up the stairs to Air Force One. I don't know how you fall upstairs, but I will give Biden this credit, because Biden falls down a lot. To be 82 now, I think? To be 82 years of age and fall as much as Biden has fallen and get back up speaks volumes. I mean, a lot of folks have one fall, they break a hip, and their entire life goes downhill from there. The fact that Biden is falling like that and able to get back up, I mean, even when he fell on the stairs to Air Force One, he got back up and ran up those stairs. That's actually, a lot of 82-year-olds can't do that. So I do want to point that out. Oh boy, someone hurt the host's feelings and he has to defend Biden, says the Hoop Troop. What the hell did I say that's defensive of him? I just simply said the guy falls, pointed it out, but I also got to point out that he gets up. Do we want to pretend like that didn't happen? He could lay there and go, ouch. He could lay there, but he gets back up and continues moving on. Every time they found any voter fraud, it was always a Republican. Barr found at least 3 who tried to vote for Trump in the last election. And I will say, Easto and something, Munich, I will say that the Republicans that are caught committing acts of fraud, Trump supporters don't believe that. They believe that, like you got a lot of them that pled guilty to the fake elector scheme. Well, they only pled because they were going to get railroaded by the... So they don't take Republican fraud seriously. They don't take Democratic fraud seriously. So that has a lot to do with why the belief is that the Democrats cheated their way in. Because any reported fraud coming from the right, they just exclude that as being, mainstream media is making it up, or they're pleading guilty because the system was treating them wrong. So it does work well on their side like that. Going back to the box, Top Dog, one of my subscribers, good afternoon. Welcome back to the program, Top Dog. Tim Scott. I don't know about Tim Scott. Top Dog, good afternoon.
What's going on?
Not much at all. So, Kamala Harris, what the hell she stand for?
I mean, she's just, going forward. Some, you know what I mean? We ain't got to get into the policies and nothing like that. Just
The hell we don't? What do you mean we ain't got to get into the policies?
Yeah, right now, we ain't got to worry about that right now. Right now, we just worried about getting Donald Trump out the office.
Oh, so we're not even voting for Kamala Harris at all. We're just voting for any replacement for Trump.
Yeah, pretty much. Let's be honest. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, Steve. For sure.
So
of course we want the policy. Go ahead, I'm listening to you.
So is Kamala a better replacement for Trump?
Man, just something different. Yeah, my mind, yeah, definitely. I'm voting for Harris, so yeah, definitely. But yeah, just time for a change, man. Yeah, see something different. Put another, something different off in the sea. He's been traditionally been white men for the past 250 years. So it's, like I said, if we want to go back, we can go back to Trump and back to, what we're going to deal with, all the, deal with. It's going to be the same drama. Trump is just a bunch of drama. He's one of those drama queen type persons. So. Do we want to do America to go back to that, or do we want to go forward and let's change and try something else?
Now, you said we've had white men for the last 200 plus years. Are you voting for Kamala due to her skin color?
No, I just don't like Trump.
Okay.
So I was going to vote for Biden, too. So people try to bring, well, we're voting for her because she's black. Well, I was going to vote for Biden because he's white. I mean, my vote was not going to switch no matter who they put in the seat when it comes to this election right here.
Okay. Well, you did bring up that they've had a white man for the last couple hundred years, so that's why I had to ask that question. So, do you believe Kamala, in terms of politics, at least in Washington, do you believe her skin color has anything to do with why she's there, even as vice president or even as senator? Do you believe her skin color got her any of those positions, or her gender, by the way, being a woman?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure it helped. Yeah, for sure.
So
you know what I mean? Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure.
So you do see some DEI in that then?
Well, I don't see nothing wrong with that. I don't see nothing wrong with it. If in this situation, in the times we in now, we need something different. We might need to put a female off in there. We might need to put a mixed race person in there, just based off their gender. And she has the qualifications too. She has a resume too. So we're not just putting up a mixed race or a black woman just because she's a black. No, she has a resume to stand behind her. She just so happened to be black or mixed race.
Well, I mean, some people are saying that she does not have the qualifications, though.
Okay, well, you know what I'm going to say, and you just brought it. We always want to refer back to Trump, but in 2016, what was Trump's qualifications? He was a business owner. That was it. He was a business owner.
Yeah, but he was a very, very successful business owner, though.
Okay, well, that's fine, but was he a politician? But he didn't have any political background. Let's say that.
Well, let's be real, though. If you're a real estate mogul in a town like New York, because a lot of folks on the right, even MAGA was saying he's not a typical politician or he's not a politician. You can't reach that pinnacle of success in a big city like New York without politicking. He was a politician when he came on the scene.
Right, but it's the difference between politicking in New York City, dealing with real estate and business, than you politicking down in Washington, D.C. for America.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that, but I mean, he was close friends with Giuliani, who was, considered America's mayor back then. I mean, he was in with the governor. He attended the Clinton's wedding. I mean, he was hanging around Jesse Jackson. He was certainly knee-deep in politics.
Well, like I always tell you, Tim, when it comes to Trump, the reason why America liked him and people liked him because he was an entertainer. Yeah. He entertained. So he was able to go around and get with those different politicians and famous people because he's an entertainer. He's a TV host. Yeah. But when he tried to get into the political realm, we gave him a try in 2016. We took a gamble. This is not the norm thing, so we're going to give it a gamble. We gambled with him, and we didn't like what we came up with.
Are you sure America didn't? I mean, the man got 74 million votes. By the way, tap the screen. Get us up to about 74,000 likes. We can do it. I mean, the man got a huge audience. There's a lot of love for Trump. You see the size of the rallies.
Well, the thing was, it was the same thing on the other side. A lot of his supporters are not going to vote for the left, no matter who's over there.
True.
If it's Kamala, if it's Biden, if it's damn near God himself. If God comes down, he leans to the left. They're not going to vote for him, so it's the same thing.
True.
You know, he got his supporters, but if they liked him so much, he would have won in 2020. They would have kept what they felt. America felt that he was doing okay, or kept everything going. We would have voted him in for a second term, but we did. We got him up out of there.
Brother, if you ask him, America did vote him in for a second term. The Democrats stole it, if you ask him.
And see, that's the problem right there. That's why we need to move on to Kamala Harris right there, what you just said, Tim. We still litigating 2020. He's still out here. This grown man is still out here telling lies. That he knows it. I mean, Trump is not. He know he lost the election, but he's just such a compulsive liar. He's going to keep lying anyway. That's why I say we need to move on. We're tired of going back. We're tired of this like old relationship. We're tired of dealing with all the drama. Always got some slick shit to say in the news or tweeting out. Let's move on from that, America. We tired of that shit.
Yeah.
Let's move on to a whole different. Go ahead.
You said it's like an old relationship. Wow. I mean, and I agree with you. I wish we could move on, but it's not like it's the liberals that keep, hammering them over the head with the 2020 election. He himself is bringing it up. I mean, when he went in Atlanta to have a rally over the weekend, he was attacking Governor Kemp of that state, suggesting that the governor didn't cooperate with his claims that the election there was fraudulent. So he's still bringing it up.
Right, but he's still bringing it up, but it's not true, though. Yeah. Now, if it was true and he has some credible evidence behind it, I mean, go ahead, bring it up every chance you get, but you don't have any evidence, and multiple people have told him he did not win the election. This is just him trying to keep a lie going. That's why we don't need a president like him that just continues to lie. This man continues to lie. Even 4 years later, he continues to lie. Just even like the small things like this is petty, but it just shows like he's swerving down that he did not say lock up Hillary Clinton. They got him on multiple YouTube channels, Fox News, and it's just like dog, you just sit here and just lie. And I don't like that about any person in life.
Well, wait a minute. If you're gonna bring up lying, you got Kamala Harris and half the Democratic Party, if not all the damn party, suggesting that Biden had no cognitive decline when the whole country knew that man cognitively was failing. Do you hold Kamala Harris responsible at all for, what some folks might suggest is elderly abuse? Constantly putting Biden out there, not being honest with the American people. What say you?
You got to hold the Democratic Party. She just wasn't the only one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but she's running for president, though.
It's everybody in the administration that you have to hold accountable for, you know what I mean? But it's just like any situation, you know what I mean? If you're in a business and you got a boss he's declining, it's not too many people you're going to step up and go, circumvent the channel and go speak out against them. It's just not going to happen.
So she put her job above the country?
Yeah, she did, for sure.
All right. And you feel, and you're okay voting for somebody that might do that?
I mean, I don't see that. I understand why she done it. You know what I mean? That's her boss. You know what I mean? We still have faith in Joe Biden. So we gotta stay down with the team. Can't just, so that's what she did. She stayed down. Thank you to MAGA. Thank you. I appreciate it, MAGA, for exposing Biden at the debate. So now that you exposed him, we had to get rid of him. And I thank you and I appreciate you guys. You guys didn't see this coming. You know what I mean? MAGA didn't see this one coming. They talk so bad about Joe Biden, which they're right. They did expose Joe Biden. Joe Biden is not who he was 5, 10, 15 years ago. So I appreciate MAGA for doing what they done because I felt like Biden, I was going to vote for Biden, but I don't think he could have beat Trump, but I feel that Harris can beat Trump for sure.
All right, well, 93, 94 days, we certainly will see. I got to move it on, top dog. You do feel confident, though, this one is in the bag for Kamala.
No. Let me stop you. Nothing's in the bag. Nothing is in the bag, but if she can keep this ball rolling, you know what I mean? Those groups, white women for Harris and all those groups, if they can keep expanding and growing, I mean, we got a real good chance. You know what I mean? She got to do a real grassroots movement. She got to get on the ground in those battleground states, spend a lot of money, which she do have, and we got to get people out to vote, and she got to keep exposing Trump for who the fraud and the criminal that he is.
Damn. All right, top dog. Appreciate you coming through.
Thank you.
Anytime. Real quick in the comments, Logos TV. Your show sucks, but your callers are the best. All right, I'll take that as 50%. I'll take it. The show sucks, but the callers are the best. Well, I couldn't do this without the callers, so I do appreciate my callers, the participation. Certainly you folks in the comment section, smash that like button on YouTube. Get the likes up to about 140. We can certainly make that happen on YouTube. The 3 dots in the top of your screen. On TikTok, smash the like button, tap the screen. Smash the like button on YouTube. Tap the screen on TikTok. Get the likes up to about 80,000. The show sucks, but I am trying to speak with phenomenal callers, as one would say. Top Dog 100% says Red Hammer in reference to my last caller. She could even get past Iowa. I don't quite get what you're saying there, Paul Hall. I had to clip that video of you asking the caller about Kamala and all media and Democrats covering Joe Biden's Alzheimer's. Well, he hasn't been diagnosed with Alzheimer's. Could be dementia. Could be a host of, neurological mental illnesses or something of that nature. We don't know. But he does appear to be in mental decline. I don't want to try to come down and, diagnose what specifically is ailing the man, but we do know something appears to be up with his, ability to maintain train of thought. Sometimes I feel the same way about my damn self. Looking in the comments, Roderick Williams. The Democrats cannot just come out and say Joe Biden is sick because of our enemy. Joe Biden is sick because of our enemy. Huh? The Democrats cannot just come out and say Joe Biden is sick because of our enemy. Joe Biden is sick. I think what you're saying is the Democrats cannot tell the truth about President Biden because their enemy is Trump. I believe there's some validity to that, if that's what you're saying. That the Democrats are going now, and he's not, dementia, I guess you could say that's sick, or Alzheimer's or some kind of mental decline. I guess you could call that sick, but I do agree the Democrats were hesitant to tell the truth about President Biden because the alternative is to let Trump reign again. And they certainly don't want that. You see what my callers are suggesting? They'd rather vote for a dead man than Trump. People believe Trump is a threat to democracy, so I'll let you have it as you may. But I do have one concern myself, and that is promising to give police immunity from prosecution. I don't know why Trump would say that, but it is a major concern of mine. I don't think Trump's terrible. I don't think his 4 years in office were that bad. I think there's a lot of reasons to like Trump and dislike Trump. But him suggesting that he wants to give police immunity from prosecution is frighteningly concerning to me personally. As someone who drives all day for a living, the idea of being pulled over by a law enforcement official that has immunity, it's scary to me. It is scary to me, and I don't want to hear what he can't do. And he said it, and I don't know why he's saying it. So it is frightening to me. Going back to the box, I think believing the death penalty also is a problem. Black power, that's right now a states' rights issue. I suppose you could have a federal moratorium on the death penalty, but it's states right now. There's been hundreds of psychiatrists who have been saying Dumb Donnie is a sociopath, narcissist for years, and crickets from his voters about his mental health fitness. Well, being a narcissist, I don't know if that is a issue because I think most presidents probably throughout history that reaches that pinnacle of success, they probably all have a little bit of narcissism in them. Narcissism in them. I don't think that's that unusual. In the comments real quick, thank you for the super chat. Foster, welcome to the program. Thank you. Same people who said Biden was sharp as a sword, that there was nothing wrong with him, and at the top of his game would now say chameleon. I'm like, he didn't say Kamala, he said chameleon. Same people who said nothing was wrong with Biden and he was at the top of his game would now say chameleon is a good and qualified candidate. Wow. And he concludes by saying she will destroy the USA. I agree with some of that, but I don't believe Kamala Harris will destroy the USA. This is what I talk about. I'm not a big fan of Armageddon politics. Vote for such and such and the whole world will fall apart. I think if Kamala gets in there, you'll get another 4 years very similar to the last 4 years we had. Maybe you don't like the economy. Maybe you don't like what's going on in Israel, whatever the case may be. But after 4 more years, the next guy will come in there and take the country perhaps down a different road. I don't think Kamala is going to be equivalent to the Great Depression or World War II. I mean, we've lived some really pretty bad times in this country. The Civil War. I don't think Kamala is going to do that much damage to the country. Logos TV swallow a dick and get in the fucking box? Wow. Gen X, I always like to read my super chats, but sometimes they're really wild. Gen X in particular, because Logos mentioned me. Logo stated that, the show sucks, but the callers are great. And Gen X, who is a friend of the program, MAGA, indeed, says Logos TV swallow a dick and get in the box. And he used the F word, a slur, you know how it goes towards the LGBT community, which I don't want to say because it will get the show banned. I don't mind free speech. I get folks on the show say damn near the N-word and all of that, but I can't control what the TikTok gods say. If it was left up to me, I would let you be you, and then we could judge you accordingly. I would let you say any damn thing you wanted, but the TikTok gods will censor shit that I otherwise wouldn't. So understand, we don't block, ban, or censor, but we can't control, the hierarchy. By the way, tap the screen on TikTok. Get me up to over 100,000. We got almost 1,000 of you in here. Same on YouTube. Feel free to smash that like button. Get us up to about 155. Get the likes up. Going back to the box. DMF. What does that mean? The acronym's DMF. We'll bring them up. DMF. What is that? What do the acronyms mean?
So, DMF, we're a group that basically goes and spreads basically awareness of mental health.
Oh, so what do you think of President Biden?
I'm not a fan of him.
Do you think he has? Do you think he's in mental? You think he's in mental decline?
100%.
Fair enough. So he's going to be replaced by Kamala. What do you think of her?
I don't think I would really love a woman president, but I do not think that she's the right one.
What about Nikki Haley?
I would rather have her than Kamala Harris.
Okay, now you lean right or left?
I'm an independent, so I have voted for Democrats, but I lean more towards the right.
Okay. Did you vote for Trump the two times he ran before, 2020 and 2016?
I did, but I also voted for Obama.
Okay. So, Trump in office from 2016 to 2020, do you think he did a good job?
And I'm sorry, one more time?
Trump's first term, do you think he did a good job?
Oh, 100%. 100%. Now, let me explain as to why he did a good job.
Sure.
Okay? If you look at the economy was very good. House ownership was at its best. You had, so house ownership was at its best. There were no wars. I think he could have said things better? Yes. But at the same time, he got stuff done. People had money in their pockets. And to me, that's what really mattered.
How do you respond to folks that might suggest, how do you respond to folks that might suggest things were that well for Trump because Obama left him a good economy?
He did and he didn't.
Explain.
Okay? There were a lot of businesses that went overseas that had no business going overseas.
How can you stop that?
Okay.
How can you stop that?
So what Trump did, you basically
the tariffs.
You tax the hell out of these companies that want to go over. You tax the companies that the hell out of companies that want to go overseas and force them to stay here in the United States.
Yeah, and he did talk about doing it because I was actually Yeah, he did mention that with John Deere, I remember in Mexico, and I actually applauded him when he was running in 2015 when he said he was going to do that. I'm not opposed to that. Let me ask you this. This is a comment coming from Foster on YouTube. He says, who could support open borders, more war, and more inflation? Democrat policies are catastrophic. Their only strategy is to lie and scare people out of MAGA. Do you agree with that?
Can you repeat that one more time? You're kind of cutting out.
Okay, he's asking who could support open borders, more war, more inflation. Democratic policies are catastrophic. Their only strategy is to lie and scare people out of MAGA. Do you believe that the Democrats are doing all of that?
No, I don't.
Okay.
No. Do I believe that we need to shut down the border until we can get a good control? Yes. Okay. I am for shutting down the border. But
completely?
I am also for...
Completely?
I am also for... until we can get a control. Yes, but I am... Hold on. Hear me out when I say this. I am also for pathway to citizenship. I want people to come in the right way, but at the same time, I do want people to come, right? But I want them to come in the right way. Meaning, I don't want my kids to have to be in danger because an MS-13 member comes and decides to murder my child.
Wait, do you believe Yeah, but do you believe? Because we've had tens of thousands of immigrants come into this country. Do you believe that there's that many of them coming in this country and harming Americans?
There are no, but there's still a good amount.
What is a good amount?
You know what
Trump,
I mean?
wait, let me ask you this. Trump says, I think he said recently that 18 million illegals are in this country. Now, he said they're not sending us their best and brightest, they're sending us their rapists and murderers. Out of 18 million, you refer to a good amount. What is a good amount out of 18 million?
So a good amount, there are a lot of mafia members coming into this country. There are a lot of MS-13 members. There are a lot of different types of gangs that are coming into here. Illegally.
When you say a lot, are you talking million? When you say a lot, are you talking thousands, hundreds, tens, millions? What is a lot? You're giving me these general terms.
So I don't know. I will be honest. I don't know the exact amount, but if I could give an educated guess, I would say in the thousands.
Thousands of immigrants. And you believe that there are thousands of Americans are being hurt by these immigrants?
I really do believe that.
All right. I have seen no evidence to back this up, but you're not the only one that believes what you're saying. I would submit to you this. Most of them come in through the southern border, whether it's, Laredo or El Paso or, Nogales, towns in Arizona, towns in California. If they were as violent as folks like yourself and folks on the right are suggesting, border towns should be the most violent places in this country because that's where they're all coming through. Yet when you look at the most violent towns in America, most of them are nowhere near the border. So to me, it doesn't make sense.
So okay, let's look at statistically. Okay, what has happened with New York? Let's look at statistically what has happened with Los Angeles, California.
Which is not a border town. Really Los Angeles, by the way, Los Angeles is not a border town, but keep going.
But they are a sanctuary state.
Okay, but you say if we're talking millions of rapists and murderers are coming to this country, they don't decide to rape or murder until they get to a sanctuary area?
So when I'm talking about a lot of these places, I'm talking about places like New York. I'm talking about places like LA. I'm talking
about you're doing
all these places that are allowing.
Right, the places that are the places that are nowhere. Los Angeles is about less than 200 miles from the border. I think San Diego's the border town, but New York is obviously nowhere near the border that people are concerned with, unless you're talking about the Canadian border. So you're making it sound like the immigrants come into this country, but they deliberately hold off on committing acts of violence until they get into a sanctuary city. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, so they're going all over the place. It's not just the border towns. They're going all over the place. Now, do I blame a little bit of Abbott for doing that? Yes, I do. I don't think he should have done that.
Yeah, but
what I think the proper response would have was to send them back.
Yeah, but DMF, Abbott and Ron DeSantis just started busing immigrants or flying them up north a few years ago. Immigrants been coming in this country for years. And the border, if you go back 10 years, before Abbott was doing that and Ron DeSantis was doing it 10 years ago, and you look at the top 10 most violent cities in this country, none of them are border towns. In fact, I don't know if a border town has ever been one of the most violent cities in America. Now, somebody mentioned Juarez, but that's in Mexico. We're talking about U.S. cities that are on the border. I don't think any of them have ever been among the most dangerous cities in America. Yet, this is where all of these rapists and murderers are coming through. So they just know not to commit crimes in the border towns?
So what I would say to you is you have a point there. You have opened my eyes a little bit to that a little bit more, but I still think that there needs to be some kind of vet option. There needs to be control.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that. I got to move it on.
There needs to be some control.
Yeah, I do got to move it on. I don't disagree with you that they need to have secure the border. What I disagree is that all of these folks are coming here to rape, murder, and kill people. I think that the evidence is overwhelming that that's not happening anywhere near to the level that the right is suggesting it is. But DMF, appreciate you coming on. Doors are always open to you.
My friend.
Thank you. You too. Foster says, we need a woman president, which is a quote my last guest stated. He said a statement said only by fools. Gender doesn't matter. Policy does. Well, I got to push back. I think nobody knows a woman better than a woman. Just like folks who suggest that, over 65, you shouldn't be able to be president. People who have been elderly know what it's like to do things for the elderly. They know what the elderly are going through. So I do believe there's some validity to having a female president. Like some of these abortion laws that are being proposed by men that can barely even explain a lot of what women go through in terms of menstruation and pregnancy, don't even have the answers. So you're passing laws on, women's reproductive health decisions. And then when you're questioned, you're failing a lot of the questions in regards to women's reproductive health. So I don't totally disagree. I don't totally agree that women, gender doesn't matter. I do believe it does if you're going to be passing laws like that. I really disagree with that. Foster says a vote for Trump is a vote for a safe and free USA. Listen, under Trump, I push back on both of those. A vote for Trump is a safe and free USA. First of all, I don't know what the president really does to protect our safety, at least domestically, because Trump is suggesting that under Biden, crime has gotten way up. The president can't lower crime in Chicago. Now, he stated he's going to be working with liberal mayors and liberal governors to lower crime in liberal cities by giving the police immunity from prosecution. So he does have a plan on how to lower crime in liberal areas. But let's be honest, who commits all the crime in liberal areas? It's generally minorities, predominantly black people. And his suggestion is we're going to lower that crime by giving the police immunity. Nothing can go wrong with that one at all, huh? So I'm totally not a fan of that. But a safe and free America. Now, the free side of America, I think you're going to get more like a Christian America. I don't believe you're going to get a free America under Trump. Certainly with children already being forced to read the Bible, no matter what religion they are. You see the states' rights coming in. So that in some states, women are no longer free to choose. So the idea that you're going to get a safe and free America under Trump, the free is going to be free that you may agree with. That's how I'll put it. It's freedom that you agree with. If you think somebody's freedoms goes against maybe your religion, like same-sex marriage or, LGBT, and they're going to lose those freedoms. So it's not going to be it's not going to be freedom for everybody. It's going to be freedom for folks who have a certain mindset. If Harris is elected, she will put us in World War III. Wow, says Wes B. We are ready for a female president, but the rest of the world is not. I don't know about that. Wow, World War III. What makes you think Kamala Harris? What is that based on? Kamala Harris hasn't even done a single damn interview, which she's been criticized for, legitimately maybe. But what makes you suggest that Kamala Harris is going to lead us to World War III? Give me something to back that. That doesn't. I don't have any evidence to even back that up. Gen X says one is too many if it's your child who's victimized. Yeah, I agree. If one immigrant hurts your kid, that's one too many. Fine, I'm not disagreeing with that. But passing a law saying it's millions of people when it's only a handful, you don't need to lie. Listen, when it comes to the border, I believe the liberals have failed at the border. I definitely believe that Trump would be better at managing the border because I believe Trump would be willing to break the law to defend the border, such as potentially shooting illegals. He said he wanted to put him in jail for 5 years. Talked about building a moat with dangerous wildlife in it so that, illegals could be eaten or bitten. I do believe Trump would be significantly better on the border than Biden. A total and complete ban of Muslims, shut the border down. You're not going to get anybody that's more effective than somebody that's willing to take it that far. However, just tell the truth. Under the Kamala Harris vice presidency, she was saying that there was no problem at the border and we can see care. You don't need to say 18 million people are coming across. So I do believe Trump kind of hurts his credibility when he lies in an area where simply telling the truth might be effective enough. He's better at handling the border. There's no denying, in my opinion, Trump would be more effective because he would close the damn border off and be willing to use lethal force to protect it. So you're going to have a lot less illegals coming in the country under Trump, period. But you don't need to lie and say it's tens of millions of people coming in and make up some shit to bring your point home. What he's saying is not true, or suggesting that they're all rapists and murderers. He's making up stuff, which is why Gen X is in the comments say, well, one is too many. Yeah, but he's saying it's millions. You don't need to make that up. So, Lucky, thoughts on Kennedy 2024? I'm on the fence. If you vote for Kennedy, you're throwing your vote away. Use it as firewood. Voting for Kennedy in this election is akin to just using your vote for firewood. I doubt if Kennedy gets 20% of the vote. I mean, there's virtually no ads you're seeing on national TV. Nobody's really trying to interview him. What is he on, Joe Rogan? A few now, Joe Rogan's a big program, but I'm just simply saying there's a large portion of America that still does not know what Kennedy stands for. And that's a problem. How does he feel about Social Security and Medicare and things like that? School free lunch programs, LGBT issues. He's still talking about shit like COVID and stuff like that. Voting for Kennedy is throwing your vote away, in my opinion. Ryan C., I'd like to trade the blats. What is a blat? B-L-A-T-S. I'd like to trade the blats for illegals. Now, I almost sound like blacks, B-L-A-C-K-S, but what is a blat? Bravo, Lima, Alpha, Tango, Sierra. What is a blat? You would like to trade the blats for illegals. I'd be curious to know what the hell that means. Thank you, Foster. Sanctuary cities are completely dystopian. You either get stuck in a druggy hellscape with Walking Dead tranquilized zombies, or a city of so crime ridden you'll look in the sky hoping to see the bat signal? Damn. Sanctuary cities ain't that fucking bad, Foster. Houston is a sanctuary city. Now, notice that Governor Greg Abbott of Texas did not send those immigrants to Houston, but that is a sanctuary city. You said sanctuary cities are completely dystopian. You either get stuck in a druggy hellscape or Walking Dead tranquil. That ain't true. That's just not fucking true. How many of you folks have been to Chicago, Navy Pier, they got a bunch of museums, Museum of Science and Industry and places. I mean, there are great places to tour even in Chicago. It's not a completely dystopian area full of druggies. I mean, look, there are places you can go in many cities that is the wrong place to go. I don't disagree with that. But that's not the whole of Chicago. I mean, if you go to, Milwaukee or any of these cities, there are good parts of town in every major U.S. city. It's not that. That's Fox News. Because I watch a lot of Fox. That's what Fox News does. West B, if Harris is voted president, you said she'll put us in World War III. We are ready for a female president, but the rest of the world isn't. We got a female leader in Mexico. We've had Angela Merkel in Germany. There's a female prime minister in New Zealand. We had Margaret Thatcher in England. There's been a lot of successful female leaders. Why is the U.S. really that sexist? Is the U.S. really that? I mean, I would submit to you that half the world knew who Hillary Clinton was. If she was president, they already know her husband. She's been meeting with folks as a senator and secretary. I think the world would have dealt with Hillary Clinton just fine. I don't know about that. And I see in the comments, Hillary Clinton couldn't win. Hillary Clinton couldn't win. You left think Harris will. Well, Hillary Clinton did not have the same Trump as we do now. I think that I don't think folks hated Trump the way they do now. And that hatred is going to count for votes. When Trump ran in 2016, first of all, he had no policies to run on. So you didn't have things to point out. You didn't have abortion bans. You didn't have a 6-3 Supreme Court. He wasn't talking about, giving police immunity. He was talking about a good economy and, running as a businessman. There's now a lot of things that do not favor Trump to run on. And he didn't have J.D. Vance up there either, talking about childless cat ladies and shit. It's a different Trump. It is a different Trump in 2024 than it was in 2016. He now has negatives, because I know the right points to the policies, how you ran the country, the economy, but there's a lot more that you're ignoring that people are afraid of. Pat Carlson, good afternoon. Welcome to the program. America's going to have a female. Pinchers, we'll see. Pat Carlson, good afternoon.
Hey there, handsome. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. Good afternoon. Good to have you on. So what do you think? You think Kamala's ready for it now? Asking the question, what the hell does she stand for?
Well, all right. So first of all, let's go down that road. Trump has backed out on the debate. If Trump goes to that debate, then we can find out what her policies are, because that's what the debate is all about, is discussing policies and all, correct?
Well, he's offering a debater on Fox.
Yeah, he wants to have his watchdogs there, his puppets, to give him the soft questions and then hit her with the hard balls. No, he did. He agreed to debate Biden at said time, said place. The only thing that's changed is the players. The venue didn't change. He's sitting there saying, "Oh, it's because there's a lawsuit." That lawsuit was there before he ever agreed to it in the first place. He's using it to back out, so that his puppets.
You're saying there's a lawsuit kind of reminds me of saying I can't release my taxes until the audit is done.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He wants his puppets because, let's face it, Fox is his network, and he wants his yes people, to be there to help him out, because he knows that Harris will stomp him.
Well, Fox, wait, you're saying Fox is his network. I thought Fox claimed to be fair and balanced.
No, Fox has always been his network. But here's another thing. They say that she slept her way to the top, right?
I hear it a lot.
Okay. My sentiments is kudos for her if she did, because let's look at the facts. No, look at the facts. Men are notorious for going and saying, hey, if you want this position, you got to sleep with me. Correct? It's happened that way all through time.
Yeah.
She's just if she did indeed sleep her way to the top, she's just done what they had her do.
You want to, and by the way, a little to the left, appreciate that, Bear. Thank you for the graphic. Thanks for somebody showing support for the program. Thank you, a little to the left. You want a woman, or anyone, man or woman, you want somebody in there that slept their way to get the gig?
No, what I'm saying is, do I necessarily agree with something like that? No. But if the fact of the matter is, man, as far as the male species has played women like that their entire lives. Men have held women down. Women have to do whatever they have to, as the saying goes, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. All right, she pulled herself up by her bootstraps. Do I believe that she slept her way to the top? No, I don't.
So why do you think it keeps coming up then?
Because they want a talking point.
Yeah.
Let's look at this. Do the Republicans talk about how Trump was... Look at all the crap that Trump does when it comes to women. Are the Republicans talking about that? He was civilly found guilty of assault.
Yeah.
He sits there and talks about his daughter like he wants to have sex with her.
Yeah, he did say something like that. That definitely did happen.
There is no doubt about that. Matter of fact, I just recently had a discussion with my son, about Kamala and her policies. Well, the fact of the matter is, we don't really know what her policies are.
Right.
My sentiments is anybody's better than Trump. First of all.
You really think he was that bad? Wait. You really think he was that bad that anybody's better?
Trump is a terrorist.
Based on what?
Now, why I say that is if you go and tell a country that you're going to annihilate them, that is a terroristic act by nature.
He was mentioning that. Wait, hold on. He said that to North Korea.
Right. He told North Korea that he would obliviate them. That is a terroristic act.
But North Korea,
by all definitions.
North Korea was threatening the world, Pat Carlson. I don't think anybody had a problem with him trying to put North Korea in their place. You thought he was wrong for doing that?
You're saying that you're going to go over there and, send forces over there is one thing. Saying you're going to annihilate them is something entirely different.
I don't know. I think you might be judging him pretty harsh. I want you to hear this also. Colin Radley on YouTube says, so Fox is his puppet, but ABC, CNN, and MSNBC is not the Democratic puppets? Trump has done all debates on left-leaning national news channels. And I don't know if that's the case, but he's suggesting that Trump is willing to branch out away from Fox, but the liberals are not willing to go on Fox.
Here's my sentiments is, as far as, all right, so the people that Trump wants to have officiated, or however you want to put it, put somebody that isn't with Fox in there. And then I wouldn't, I could see where Kamala, wouldn't have a right to say, well, no. But you see, it still boils down to Trump agreed to debate Biden on September 14th.
That was the 10th. Wait, September 10th.
Well, 10th, 14th, I'm not sure the day, but he agreed to debate Biden, and it was all fine. you know, the lawsuit wasn't an issue. Nothing was an issue because he figured that it was a slam dunk against Biden. Yeah. But now that Kamala is in the position, he wants to change the whole dramatic of it. Why?
So you do believe that Trump might be fearful or concerned with debating Kamala?
Oh, yeah. And furthermore, you know, you asked about the comment that we're using weird.
Yeah. Is that inappropriate?
Look at what the Republicans are doing. They're calling the Democrats every name in the book, especially Trump. Look at all the mean, nasty names he calls people. And yet that's okay, but weird. I mean, let's look at this. A Republican has went on national TV and said, if you're a man and you vote for a woman, scientists say you're going to change to a woman.
I did see that on Jesse Waters. Oh, my God.
Now, are you telling me that isn't flipping weird?
Yeah, that's kind of weird. All right, Pat, I got to move it on. I'll give you the win with that. That's hilarious, but it did happen. Appreciate you coming on, Pat. Thank you.
You bet.
All right, that was Jesse Waters of Fox News that said that if you vote for it. I believe he was reading it from somebody else. But, yeah, Jesse Waters, and I'm a big Fox fan. I've been watching The Five when Eric Bolling used to have that spot. Jesse Waters came from Bill O'Reilly. He was an intern. I've been watching Fox for about 20 years. I know a lot about it, but that was funny to see Jesse. I think it was a cut and splice. I didn't see that whole, because Jesse Waters now has his own program. I don't watch it, but yeah, he left himself open for that. If you vote for a woman, if you're a man and you vote for a woman, you're going to transition. Wow. Mowgli, thank you for the super chat, says, Fox got rid of that fair and balanced logo years ago. That is true, by the way. They did get rid of the fair and balanced logo. It used to be, we report, you decide. That was kind of on during the Shep Smith era, but yeah, they're Fox News is a right-leaning network now. They're a right-leaning network. I think they're the counter to MSNBC. Now, I know a lot of folks believe that CNN leans left. In my opinion, CNN is center, maybe slightly center left, but that's not a left-leaning network. MSNBC is a left-leaning network. Fox News is a right-leaning network. Looking in the comments, I'm voting for the awesome felon. He's awesome, says Jill Baby 1961. Shout out to you, Jill. I always give credit to my female Republicans. Everybody says the female vote is going to go liberal, but there's a lot of female MAGA out there. Continuing on with the program, thank you folks that are tapping the screen. Get the likes up to about 120,000. We can certainly make that happen if you smash that like button. Going back to the box. I'm voting for Trump even if he is in jail, says there's another female, Melissa. You would vote for Trump even if he was in jail. Zach, would you vote for Trump if he was incarcerated?
I mean, I don't know. Listen, I'm independent and I'm leaning right for sure.
If he was incarcerated, would you still do it?
Jail, I mean, if he was in jail, probably. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't even know if they'd allow him on the ballot if he was in jail.
Right now, I believe they would. So I want to ask you then, if you're leaning that far to the right that even being incarcerated would not be a deal breaker for you, we've had Trump 4 years already. We've had Kamala, at least as vice president. So what is so good about Trump or so bad about the Kamala Biden team that would make you make that decision?
Here's what I know. I got into the trucking industry early on in Biden's administration. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm now an owner-operator because I've stepped into the family business with it.
All right.
Before this, I ran heavy equipment. Okay, I make 3 times as much a week as I did before, but as with my old job, I had more in my savings account than what I got now.
Wow.
That's how flip-flopped our economy is. And I don't care. I mean, anyone can say whatever they want. Oh, I'm sitting good, blah, blah, blah. I refuse to believe that they're not feeling it. I refuse to believe that.
Well, I can tell you.
That's what makes me lean that way. And then obviously, early on in Biden's administration, the fuel prices weren't all screwed up yet.
Yeah.
But I can sit here and watch the dollars I make go right back into my fuel tank.
Yeah, I can tell you this, because certainly if you're in an industry like you or I, where you're driving a lot, the price of fuel is going to be a significant issue for you. But yeah, the reason why some people are saying they're doing okay under the Biden administration is because they're not spending a bunch of money on fuel. Maybe they're making money from alternative energy or some of these things that Biden favors. There are people that are doing better under Biden than they were under Trump. It's not, whereas a lot of Trump supporters and Trump himself make it sound like the whole country was doing better under him. That's not true. I mean, it depends on what industry you're in.
True. Yeah. But when you step back and look at it, and you can go on the archives, the whiteHousearchives.gov, and look it up. 7 million people came off of welfare under Trump. Since Biden's been back, 6 million people are back on it. But yet they're supposed to have lower unemployment rates. So how does that work?
That's an interesting statistic. I have not heard that. If that is true, that makes more sense. And by the way, Star Trek, thank you for the hat and mustache. Yeah, first one of the day, which is a bit unusual. Normally we have a few by now, but thank you for the hat and mustache. So I haven't heard that so many folks got off welfare under Trump and on under Biden. That's a first. And oddly enough, I haven't heard that even in right-wing circles. I watch a lot of right-wing media, and they're not even saying that. Trump at his rallies is not even saying that.
Yeah, you can go on whitehousearchives.gov and just go to Google, do whitehousearchives.gov. It'll take you to their website, and then you can go in and select each president, and it'll bring it into their summary of when they were in office. And it's right there. 16% more were going into blue-collar workers' pockets on their paychecks. 7 million people came off welfare. The border crossing numbers were at an all-time low. The only thing, and it's the number I can't get my head to wrap around, the only thing that Biden's numbers show better in is the unemployment rate's lower. And that's honestly because we had 1.6 million or 1.9 million people lost their jobs because of the coronavirus.
Well, here's something I would say. In regards to the welfare numbers, we know Trump was far more efficient at securing the border. And a lot of folks that come into this country illegally end up receiving some type of assistance. I don't know if they're not going to get a full welfare check, but they do get some welfare assistance and food sometimes. Maybe they're putting them folks in those numbers. So the Trump's numbers are always going to be less because he's not going to let people in here to begin with. So that might have something to do with it. I don't know if those numbers you were citing are 100% American.
Well, it didn't break it down that far.
Yeah.
So that could be true. But the only thing I have to say on that is that when they come over and they claim asylum, I believe that's a different bracket of stuff. I don't know if that falls under our welfare or not. I think that's a different bracket if they claim asylum, because the first time they claim asylum, they get I want to say it's $2,800, maybe not that much. I'm not sure. And then they're supposed to show up for their court case. And then if they show up for their court case and they're still struggling, they get another $1,100 or something like that.
Well, it's interesting you would get those numbers because Doozy is in the comments saying that the illegals are getting more than I bring home, making $36 an hour. Do you believe that's accurate, that illegals are doing better than the average American, making $36 an hour?
I mean, maybe if they're coming over and getting paid under the table, but from what I know, from what I've seen and what I've researched, the first initial numbers when they come over claiming asylum is they get one lump sum check of I think it's $2,800 to get them started.
Right.
Because the whole point of them claiming asylum is they're supposed to come over, they claim asylum, we give them money to get to go get a place to live or a place to stay, and they're supposed to come back for their court appearance and to start their proceedings to become a U.S. citizen. Okay. The problem is those people come over and claim asylum, and then they never go back to their court hearing.
Well, if they don't go back to their court hearing, you got to assume any financial assistance to them stops at that point, right?
Yeah, from what I understand, they don't continue to give them money. It's just that one time.
Okay, so in other words, they certainly don't get more than an American making $36 an hour.
No, I would have to say that's probably false. That or whatever information he looked up, I would double check that, because that doesn't sound accurate to me.
Yeah. It's amazing though what he said, and I don't agree. I don't think it's accurate either. But it's amazing how many folks who do. A lot of folks do believe illegal immigrants come to this country and they're being treated like like they're just exceptionally wealthy. People believe they're driving around in fancy cars and everything at the behest of the U.S. government. It's just not true. Kevin, yeah, thank you for the hat and mustache. Go ahead.
I think for the majority is, and I think a lot of people, well, I guess I don't want to say the majority. I think a lot of people look at it and go, there are there's people here that work on work visas completely within their legal rights to do so. In the industry I'm in, I work with guys who own their own trucks and they're all here on work visas. And yes, they make a lot of money. But also while they're here, they all know each other. So like they'll room together. That's not, to them, this isn't, this isn't their home. This is their job. And then whenever they go home, But
why don't we, and I don't disagree that some of them live like that and make a little bit of a wage. Why don't we blame the Americans in this country trying to undercut U.S. salaries and U.S. labor law by hiring them? They're not coming here and forcing people to hire them. It is greedy Americans that don't want to pay you and I a decent salary, that want to pay them folks either as little as possible or under the table. They're not getting those jobs by going in and forcing people. Why don't we ever target the Americans that hire them?
Well, and there's supposed to be stuff against that, but I'll tell you like this, and I don't know how true it was, right? But I used to work in a town that had a beef packing plant. I worked in the jail there for a while, for about 4 years, and while we were there, ICE used to come in and do immigration bust at the beef packing plant.
Okay.
I don't know 100% what happened, but the beef packing plant made it to where they were not allowed to come on their private property and check people's papers anymore to protect their workers. They're just so that they wouldn't have to pay more to the American dollar. That's why the border is such an important thing to get. There's not going to be any perfect solution, right? There's people say, why don't you feel bad for those people that are suffering in their country? I do feel bad, but at the same time, we have home front issues first, like for the fact that the American people aren't getting paid the money that they should be.
But the same party that's saying the stuff you're saying don't want to increase the minimum wage. You're going to say, well, we need to take care of home first. People aren't getting paid the dollar they should get paid. And then when there's a vote for minimum wage, you come up with every excuse in the book not to give it to Americans who are willing to go and put in an honest day's work. We're not talking about illegals. We're talking about Americans, and the right refuses to get them a minimum wage increase.
I don't. Where I live, and now I can only speak for where I live on this because that's all the further I've bracketed.
But you know this is going on. You know.
Hang on. Let me get there. Let me get there. Where I live, people that are working minimum wage jobs are people that are doing it as part-time because they're a college student. Now, granted, yes, I agree, they probably deserve more money, or they're high school kids. And I understand people go through hard times. I understand it now more than ever. I had a conversation with a gas station clerk the other day who she lost her job because of the Biden administration because their company had to shut down.
Yeah.
And she lost her job making $16, $17 an hour, and now she's working at a truck stop making $11 an hour. So before that, though, like the majority of people that work for minimum wage is fast food workers and stuff like that. How many times do you go in there and you see teenage kids working the registers and making the food?
Depends on what time you go in there, because a lot of them restaurants are open all times of night. Them ain't kids in there all damn day. And by the way, alter ego.
That's true.
Thank you. Here's the point. Hold on. Here's the point I'm trying to make. I get it that minimum wage is not designed to go out and buy a house and a picket fence with. I get that. But fact is, even the people making minimum wage want to buy something with the damn money. The idea that you're going to keep minimum wage the same for 20 years means that burger flippers that may have worked in our day, because I worked for Burger King as a teenager in 1988. My money, my $3.80 an hour in 1988 as a burger flipper that wasn't trying to buy a house with the $3.80, I could do a hell of a lot more with that money than the burger flippers what they're earning today. They are being paid less. Even though they're not trying to buy a house or a Rolls Royce, the money they're making does not go as far as it did when we worked, because the minimum wage has been kept the same. I think in some of the Bible Belt states, like 15, 20 years, some of them states have went without a single, not even 1 cent of an increase. There's no explanation for that.
I agree. I agree 100%. I mean, I'm not against hiring minimum wage. I'm not against it.
Your party is. If you get Trump in there, your party is against that.
Well, yeah, the party is. I'm not. I like I said, I can't agree 100% with Trump. There's a lot of stuff he says that I'm like, that's never going to happen. He came out and said something I think it was at a rally where he said, if your product's not made in America, we're not selling it. That's completely absurd. That's never going to happen, for one. That's pure propaganda and a pure lie.
Damn.
We're too integrated to do something like that. There's no way that would ever get done. And like I said, I don't believe with everything he stands for, but out of the two options we have, if it was up to me, I would vote libertarian. But libertarians lose always because no one ever backs them up.
True.
But libertarians are pure like, hey, the government needs to stay over there. We control what you guys do. You guys stay in your corner until we tell you to do something. And the other Republican and Democrat both are like, oh, you need to hire us so we can lead your country. The worst thing any political person can say is, or anybody for the government can say is, oh, trust us, we'll protect you.
I think Ronald Reagan has a quote like that. But I will say this. I understand your point. You know, you don't want big government and all this oversight. I got a difference of opinion simply because of the historical context being a minority. Being a minority, I know. Now, this country started out exactly like you're talking about. It started out with states' rights, small individual government. And I know that the history towards people like me would be terrible. I do believe if you allowed the states to make their own decisions, there would be places that it wouldn't be safe for me to go. So for that reason alone, I'm not a big fan of states' rights. The history of states' rights in this country has been very bad, very oppressive. And the whole goal is, well, I hope they don't do it again. So there's literally no evidence to suggest they wouldn't go back to that. We just seen Arizona go back to an abortion law from the 1800s. What other law from the 1800s they would be willing to use if you allowed them? So for that reason, I can't go with it.
Well, I mean, there's especially in today's world now, we're going to have government oversight for the majority. I mean,
you can now force a woman to carry a baby to term, even if her life is in danger. So no, you can't be for certain it is going to be that way.
Well, my philosophy on that stuff's way different than everybody else's. As far as that abortion stuff goes, that to me, I have the same philosophy on drugs. Anyway, my philosophy on it is, if that's what you choose to do, that's on you and your moral compass to do so. You're the one that has to live with your choices at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I know, and I don't understand why it's a big hoopla. If
religion,
you have to do it for health reasons,
religion is
and
why
stuff like that. But it's just like anything else. I don't go push my religious beliefs on anybody. Nobody should tell me, like, oh, okay, do I think it's right that there are women out there that use it as a form of birth control? No. If you want to have birth control, use protection or whatever the case may be. Now, I understand accidents happen, and there's health reasons behind it. There's SA victims behind it and stuff like that, and I get all that. But even if you're a person and you end up in a bad way, and a woman ends up pregnant, if she goes and aborts it, that's completely on her and her moral compass. Yeah. I don't believe that Roe v. Wade should have never been a thing. It should have just been like either left alone or whatever, to where people could just go do whatever they wanted. But I feel the same way about drugs. I don't believe any drug should technically be illegal. If you want to go out and mess up your life on whatever drug you choose, that's on you. That's you ruining your own life. Who am I to tell you what to do with your life?
All right, fair enough. You're not the first libertarian. You're not the first libertarian I've heard say that. So fair enough. I do got to move it on, though, Zach. Appreciate you coming up.
Hey, I appreciate you.
Good
appreciate
talk.
you, man.
Anytime. Come on back through. Real quick, looking in the comments, certainly want to acknowledge my YouTube side. By the way, folks on YouTube, smash that like button. Get us up to about 210. We can certainly do that. It's over 600 plus of you there. You on TikTok, smash that screen, tap that screen, get the likes up to about 140. We can certainly do that. It helps out the algorithm. That's why I'm always asking you folks to get the likes up or smash the like button on YouTube. We're on both platforms. For you folks that are not aware, we're on both platforms simultaneously. It helps out the FYP. It brings in more MAGA. The MAGA are my preferred guests. Liberals are welcome, but MAGA's the preferred guest on the program. And when you tap the like button or get the likes up on TikTok, that's what you're bringing in. So understand that. Gen X says, you're safe in Montana, Tim. I'll bring you to a Proud Boy party. You think the Proud Boys would treat me with respect, would show me some love? Gen X is talking about bringing me to a Proud. Gen X is a friend of the program, by the way. Gen X supports the program. Good conversation. We don't agree on a lot politically, if anything, but a Proud Boy party. What would that be like? Hey, hanging out with the Proud Boys. I had somebody invite me to the an Oath Keepers gathering. I've been to a couple Trump rallies, and they were very nice to me. I didn't have any issues with it at all, but the Proud Boys, huh? Really? All right, look at it in the comments. 100% love and respect, Gen X, thank you. If you were useful to their goals, yes. All right, so I'm assuming Tim Scott would be okay with the Proud Boys. There will always be alternatives to aborting a fetus, a baby. You can't legislate this issue. Let Americans be Americans and choose for yourself. David Foster, I am with you on that. Tim, are you really a liberal? Says Matthew Homer. Well, some would say I'm a libtard. Others would say I'm a sellout. Others would say I'm an Uncle Tom. Depends on who you ask. Appreciate you tuning in. Listen, make your own decision, come to your own conclusion. Going back to the box, Miss Mo Better. Good afternoon or welcome to the program. Asking that question, what does Kamala stand for, Miss Mo Better?
As far as myself, listening to the derogatory things that people are coming out of their mouths with, the lies that about her that they're coming out.
Give me some examples.
Their mouths with.
Give me some examples.
About how her sleeping with her way to her position. Oh, she lies about everything. She has no policies. She locked up thousands of black men that kept them in jail. Like almost all of that stuff has been debunked.
I don't, somebody tried because somebody told me 1,000 of her cases have been overturned, and I thought that sounded ridiculous. I looked it up. It appears there may be at least a little validity to that. It
absolutely is. And the 45 people and we're talking about the marijuana cases. First of all, when she was a DA, it was illegal to have those substances, number one.
Yeah.
Number two, the 45 people that were locked up, less than half were black people. So they're going on talking points that they hear from their side, which is naturally that's going to happen. If I'm a left-leaning person, I'm going to go with my left-leaning ideology. You understand what I'm saying? However, we still have the power. Most of us have the ability to do our research, even if it's coming from our own party.
True.
Now, like I said, a lot of times, with everybody talking about she got strong knees and all that stuff, strong jaw, she got guess what? It gave her a strong-ass position. Stop hating.
Now, in regards to that comment, she got strong knees and slept her way to the top. Now, seeing the comments, user says, go ask Democratic Judge Joe Brown. Judge, did you hear Judge Joe Brown? I mean, he really tore her apart. Now, Judge Joe Brown has no direct contact with Kamala, so he's speculating as well, but he called her a hoe.
You know what he mad at? Because nobody wanted to suck on his thing. He mad because he wasn't in that position and she was on his knees where he could benefit from it. He need to shut his ass up, go take his old ass home somewhere and shut the fuck up all the way.
Yeah, I actually put the video. I mean, because he said, what did he say? I used to deal with cases that, dealt with pimps and hoes, and I know how to recognize a hoe, and she's an old hoe. I mean, he really tore her up. I'm like, what the hell?
And that's when you smell hate. He sounds like he still has mommy issues too. And listen, that'll take a whole nother show to explain to these folks what mommy issues actually is. Now, like I said, now when people talk about her qualifications, all right, let's compare. People saying, okay, what's his name? Trump.
Yeah.
He was a businessman. He had a business and all of that stuff. He had a lot of failed businesses. She wasn't a business owner, but she was a politician.
True.
She has degrees, multiple degrees.
True.
Now, what's the real turnoff about him is he gets up there and spew these lies. He sits on broad platforms spreading these lies, and people take him and run with him. They don't they don't look him up. They don't come up. As soon as they ready to fact check, then they start trying to attack her character. If they knew anything else, now they're attacking the character. It's a yes for me. And to say, and a lot of people might not like that, but yes, I'm voting for her because she's a black woman. Not solely, but that's a part of it.
Is that racist at all? Do you view that as picking her?
Absolutely not. I'm pro-black. That doesn't mean I'm anti anything else.
Wait. So come on now. If a white person said I'm pro-white and I am voting for this person because they're white, you don't think the minority community would go ape shit about that?
They've been having that way since the start of this country, Tim. Have you missed something?
No, but
have you missed something?
No, you're correct. They have, but have we not been referred to it as racist?
It's just our time now. Listen, you call it what you want. I'm just saying, you could call it what you want, but that's a part of it. And the reason why I say that, because of black women, because they're trying to put a whole disregard to her resume. All right, you don't want me to go on her resume. You're attacking her resume and how she got to her position. So now I'm gonna vote because she's black. All right. Wow. You don't want me to accept because she had a good resume. Now I'm gonna take it because she's black then.
Well, they're suggesting that she ain't even black. She's Indian and Jamaican.
Because that's what they do. Listen, you can go back. It's on video with her at her. She was the head of the Black Caucus and everything in her schools. Y'all go back and do, again, research. It's free. It's free. It ain't that hard. The time you spent on here trying to attack her, you could have took that time to go and read up on some shit.
Now I wanted to ask, I would run the second topic by you. Folks are suggesting that the Republican Party, particularly Trump and J.D. Vance, are acting quote-unquote weird. Is that inappropriate to refer to a former president and a sitting senator as weird?
No, that's how you display yourself. If you display yourself like a weirdo, people are going to call you a weirdo. But what I implore a lot of people on here to go watch Bad Faith. Watch God and Country.
Bad Faith? Is that a movie?
Absolutely. It's Bad Faith. You go watch it. It's on Tubi. They have it on Tubi, or you can rent it on Prime or whatever. It's called Bad Faith and God and Country. God and Country, they're separate movies.
Okay.
You watch that and watch how tomorrow, and you'll see exactly how Trump and them are acting and why they are. That movie explains a lot of it.
Now I get it. Now you may not like
the Christians, especially with the Christians.
I'd be interested. Now Gen X is always.
Here we go.
See, crazy when I say his name and you already know. He says, "Who's this? Whoopi Goldberg's drunk auntie." You got any relation to Whoopi Goldberg?
I could be.
Yeah.
Y'all claim we all look alike anyway. I could be.
Damn.
Now take your fat ass in there and finish watching Fox News. How about that? And make your own goddamn sandwich.
I don't have anything to say for that. Hold on. What were we talking about?
She's not black. She's Indian. She's Indian and black. She's multicultural. She's multiracial. What the fuck y'all want her to do?
I'm still laughing. All right. So, okay.
Like, what the fuck do y'all want her to do? Oh, no, because her skin is so light. Like, listen, if they would have told Massa to keep his ass out of the slave quarters, we wouldn't be going through shit like this right now. So shut the fuck up before I really go there.
Yeah, there is a lot of light-skinned people in America, and that is a good point.
Yeah, exactly, Tim.
All right, Ms. Mo Better, you.
Tell Jen X cat his ass in there and make his own goddamn sandwich.
All right, good talk. Come on back through anytime.
No, indeed.
Jesus. She was a bit hesitant back in the day, because I've been, some of my guests like Ms. Mo Better, we've been talking several shows. You know, she was a little hesitant back in the day getting into lives. She don't became an A-lister now. She ain't hesitant no more. All right, moving on with the program. Tap the screen, get the likes up to about 150,000. We can certainly make that happen. We go left of Bernie Sanders to having dinner with QAnon. You should see that by now. We don't block, ban, or censor anybody for their comments. You get it. Hopefully. Good. Moving on with the program. Racist welfare queen. God, really? Wow. Says Bravo Stone. You think my last caller was a racist? What does welfare have to do with anything at all? Now, she mentioned voting for Kamala because she's black, but why does welfare come into that? I gotta suggest that just throwing welfare in there because she's African American in itself kind of sounds racist. I just want to point that out. Nothing was said about welfare at all. Why is that coming up? SA, can we please stop falling for these identity politics? They keep pandering to us, and we keep falling for them. I do agree, SA, thank you for your support. There's a lot of pandering. I can't argue with you there. However, it starts at the top. Unity starts at the top. You're not going to have an army unite under a divided general. Our leadership in this country is divisive. I don't think anybody expects, if Trump gets back in office, to run on a campaign of unity. Now, folks are suggesting that even Biden with the ultra MAGA, the whole speech where he had, soldiers standing behind him is dark red. He's not even running on unity. But Trump certainly is not running on unity. So I get your point about pandering, but unity starts at the top. And the leadership in this country is not running on unity. So I want what you want, but I don't think we're going to get it with the current crop of potential leaders. I don't think so. Tim, I have Harris' birth certificate. I can send it to you. Oh, God. Snowbird. Where's she born at? She born in Mumbai, India or something? Come on now. What's the relevance? We know she's old enough. We have to be like 35 to be president. What is the relevance of her birth certificate? Now, I believe the claim is she's not black. She's part Indian, she's part Jamaican. Why don't folks in this country realize that during the slave trade, a large portion of the Caribbean islands were also brought over from Africa as well? As some might suggest, some of us just got off the damn boat sooner than the others. Jamaicans are of African descent. If somebody in Jamaica did a Ancestry.com or whatever these little, you check out your heritage, like I did, by the way, it's going to go back to Africa. So folks say, well, she's not Indian, she's not black, she's Jamaican and Indian. Jamaica is black. It's the same shit. It's literally the same. They came from the same place. Haiti was another country that is loaded with former slaves. In fact, Haiti is a country where slaves got free and created their own place. That's why Haiti is in such turmoil always, because a lot of white Americans, and I'm talking about just the continent as a whole, Canada too, didn't do shit for this. They didn't like the fact that these black folks got free. But Haiti is a whole country full of former slaves that got free. Plenty of them in the Dominican Republic as well. So, yeah, I mean, all of that shit has ancestry that's traced back to Africa. So if you're part Jamaican, you're black. Period. You are black. Your ancestry is going to be very similar, if not the outright same, as people in America, as black people in America. So I don't know. That's our history that focuses only on a lot of American issues and not issues elsewhere. But yeah, Jamaica had a huge play in the slave trade as well. Looking in the comments, so she's black and Indian. Trump doesn't understand that. Well, I don't know if it's a case of Trump not understanding. I think there is value in the phrase other. If you can make people think, well, she's not one of us, it may make people look at that person differently. So because if you look at Kamala Harris, the way she grew up, it's clear that she identified with black people. You know, black caucus, went to was part of a black sorority. I mean, she was hanging around a lot of black folks. I mean, there's just no denying that. I mean, if you look at her history, she was obviously really identifying with black culture. There's no denying that. Cheyenne Souza, how do we get in the box? It's coming from TikTok, Cheyenne. It's coming from TikTok. So the audio, I have yet to figure out how to make this work on YouTube. So on YouTube, you get mainly comments, but on the audio you're hearing with people interacting with me directly is coming from TikTok. Speaking of which, let's go straight back to TikTok. Continuing on with the program, Roger Arnett, is that what that says? Good afternoon, Roger. Welcome to the program. No, she didn't. She was Indian until being black was convenient. If she's part Jamaican, it doesn't matter what she was claiming. She was black throughout her college years. Is it because it was convenient? I suppose we could argue that, maybe. But she was certainly doing it long before she became a politician. And I would submit to you this. If Kamala Harris went out and robbed a damn liquor store and there was a warrant for her arrest, what do you think the cops would be calling her? You think they would be radioing over the radio, we're looking for a part Indian Jamaican woman, or they would be saying, wanted black woman? If she's a world star acting a fool outside of a club, what do you think they'd be calling her? She'd be a black woman. This is the same thing we dealt with Obama. All of a sudden, once he started, trying to become commander-in-chief, suddenly he wasn't all black. Every other facet of his life, he was a black dude. You're black. I mean, look, at the end of the day, and I'll go back to the box. My last caller just dropped or something, but real quick, African Americans or black people or Jamaicans or what, Hispanics, you name it, they were not the ones that came up with this one drop rule. In search of pure white people, if you got one drop of alternative blood, generally black blood in you, you're black. That's not something blacks came up with, but yet that's how the country was ran. If you got the one drop rule, now all of a sudden when somebody is doing good with one drop, you want to take the drop out of them or change it or label it. 99% of America's history, she would have been called black. Let's put it this way. Let's say you go back to the 1950s and you got a restaurant, or better yet, just a water fountain. One fountain says whites, one fountain says black. We know they were all over the South. What fountain would Kamala Harris be allowed to drink from? You think they would tell her she couldn't drink from the black fountain? You think she'd get in trouble if she drank from the white fountain? 1950s America, she would be as black as I am, period. She would be sitting back with Rosa Parks in the back of the damn bus. Period. So all of a sudden now in 2024, she's suddenly changing colors or some shit. I don't know. Look, folks, at the end of the day, that woman is black, and America would be calling her black if she wasn't involved in politics right now. Big dog, yeah. Appreciate the hat and mustache. Certainly appreciate the 150,000 likes. You are on the Wayback Machine now, says OG Do. I'm simply saying that 80-90% of America's history from 1776 to probably 1980, there would have been no question at all what race she was. No question at all. From 1776 all the way well into the 1980s or 1990s. No question at all what race she was. Why is it coming up now? Just want to say that. Way back, you can say whatever you want, but why is it coming up now? Appreciate that, didn't Cal? Thank you for that underwater display. Certainly that. And Bree with the subscription. Thank you, folks, for showing the program some love. Hillary had hot sauce in her person. That was a bunch of bullshit essay. Biden said, we're not black if we don't vote for him. Now everybody is being grouped up by race to support Kamala. The Democratic Party is big racist. I'm not going to disagree with what you said happened. The idea that the Democratic Party is racist, though, let's say it's true. Let's say the Democratic Party is racist. It goes against what you can actually see. Go look at a Republican gathering and go look at a Democratic gathering and come back and say it makes sense that the Democrats are racist and the Republicans are not. Most Republican gatherings, they got to go out and find minorities. Let's say it's true that the Democrats are racist and the Republicans are inclusive. It goes against what you can actually see. And you're talking to a guy that's been to a couple Trump rallies. Haven't been to any Biden gatherings. I don't think there really was many of them. I've been to some Obama gatherings. I've said this before many times on the program. It's far easier to be a Republican politician than it is a Democratic politician or a liberal or a progressive. Because if you are a liberal, progressive, or Democrat, you got to be focused on Muslims, the LGBT community, Hispanics, feminists, and women. They got their own opinion. If you're on the right, if you're running as a conservative, your chief voter is a conservative, white, Christian male. That's really all you need to get the vote. That shit don't fly if you are a liberal. There's no way in hell you're going to focus just on that community and get the vote. You can win elections all damn day as a Republican simply focusing on white, Christian, straight, heterosexual males. No chance as a liberal politician doing that. No chance at all. So it is far easier as a Republican politician because you don't have to worry about all those other groups. So, yeah, the idea that the Democrats are racist and the Republicans are inclusive, it really goes against what you can see, in my opinion. Mowgli. And Trump said he did more for blacks than everyone other than Abraham Lincoln. What is your point? I don't have any response for that. I don't have any response to why Trump would say he's done more for blacks than everybody says Abraham Lincoln, other than people don't know what other presidents did for black people. Bill O'Reilly said that Biden is the second worst president in history. Once again, I have no clue. I really highly respect Bill O'Reilly, but there were presidents that owned people. How Biden could be the second worst president in history makes no sense to me. Anyhow, folks, I do appreciate the 159,000. Before I go, Bryce Ferg, why does the right not have a problem with blacks for Trump? I thought they don't see color. Just saying. That's a good point. Just like there's I think there's gays for Trump too. There are gays for Trump as well. Good point. Anyhow, folks, you know what this is. Monday through Friday, 1 p.m. Central. That's where you'll find us. If you enjoy civilized dialogue from all sides of the aisle, feel free to follow the program on TikTok and subscription on YouTube if you will. You know we don't block, ban, or censor anyone for their commentary. You don't have to agree with anybody in the comment section. You damn sure don't have to agree with the host. It's all about free speech. It is indeed your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. See you tomorrow. For you guys on YouTube, real quick, Project 2025 for the win, says Elliot. I don't know. You don't want to win that. David Foster, answer my question. What was your question? I'll see if I can find it briefly. David, I don't see your question. Really, Benny, the guy who put a fucking wall there doesn't know where the border is. Okay. I didn't see your question. That other guy that said answer your question. Anyhow, you guys know I don't run from questions. This is your boy Tim, the handsome liberal. Imbeciles for Trump. Oh my God. Who said that? I'll catch you tomorrow. You guys got me cracking up. Oh my Lord.